What's up, you guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Jerkmonger Show, live from an extension of Jerkmonger Studios. It's really not Jerkmonger Studios. I'm really in my dining room, but it's the same difference to me as far as I'm concerned. Either way, I want to welcome all of you. Those of you who are paying attention, those of you who are not, I get it. We have a zero space in the room right now, so I'm just going to talk about some stuff that I want to talk about so that upon review of this video, you might see some stuff that would interest you, and maybe have a response to it. And if not, it's all good. It's all good. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to my sponsor. My sponsor is H2O Water. Water is my sponsor because I don't have a sponsor. So right now, water and also oxygen. Oxygen is also a sponsor because I breathe oxygen, and without oxygen, there'd be no breathing. So that's kind of those are kind of my own limitations and my own expectations, frankly, of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get my tools together, guys. I am trying to be more professional here. Greetings from Brazil. How are you, my friend? How are you? So I'm going to do my best to read the chat as I can. Unfortunately, sorry about that. I lost control here. I don't know what happened. All right, so I guess I got kicked off. I got kicked off of my own live chat. I hope, can anybody here see what's going on? All right, so I am continuing on where I am. So in my title, I posted this as a live drawing. I'm actually just showing you some artwork while I'm getting my stuff together here. I'm actually going to be drawing a commission of Wonder Woman. It's one of the ones on my list I want to execute. And so I'm kind of in the middle of that here. But anyway, and I also put there touching on Comicsgate, on some Comicsgate stuff. So I want to talk about that with you guys a little bit. Like I said, whoever's going to be paying attention. Right now it's just two people and myself, and that's okay. That's okay. Because as this grows, it will grow and we'll all grow together. Hopefully grow in spirit and in love. Love is the most important thing. Love is all you need. All right. So I'm drawing with this pencil, man. This is a good pencil, Caran d'Ache. It's a good pencil. It's just I don't like using it because it's such an expensive tool that I'm like, why I don't want to use it. If I use it, I might actually wear it out. And so it's just exactly the opposite of why I got it. But I'm working on a black and red series item. For those of you who may or may not know, I have an Indiegogo campaign going right now where I am promoting my art book, a convention art book that I want to produce. The goal is very modest. I just want to produce enough books to take to the next few conventions, starting with New York Comic Con. I've always wanted to have an art book. I've been asked about art books for a long time. And the experience of having an art book has always been a curious one for me. But I've only been able to do so much with my time and such. So I'm also going to be using another tool that I often wouldn't use. And I don't know what I did with it because it's got lost in my stuff here. Sorry, guys. I guess I won't be using it. I will be going with my traditional pencils then. This is red. I'm gonna go with blue. So, okay. So what I tend to do with the black and red series is kind of a fusion of comic art and graphic design for me. I come from the graphic design world, and I love typography, and I'm not as good at typography as some of my peers are, but I certainly enjoy it. And so what I'm doing here is but the way that I incorporate graphic design is by including fields of color, and those fields of color give me room and space for for just to tell us a unique story, a unique aesthetic story, not so much a story, like some of you guys may be expecting. But that said, I have a couple of ideas that I am working on that I want to do after we launch. After we so far we're over 55% successful on this latest campaign, and I'm very excited. I am very appreciative. I'm noticing an uptick of people when we've been advertising. My partner and I, I'm a business partner, and we've also been getting some nice comments from here and there from people who've either heard me talk about some of this on other channels, like Antonio and Antonio Bryson, his book, his campaign, The Brand, on Indiegogo. So if anybody here is interested in supporting some of that cool stuff, there's some nice indie stuff going on that and I'm excited about that. So anyway, so which leads me to more discussion that I want to get into. But before I get into that, this is my first live chat in a while on YouTube, and I purposely have stopped for a while because I really didn't feel like I had a strong enough personality for this type of space. Not that I don't have the right personality. What I mean by that is I didn't have a specific voice or a particular reason to be on here. I'll get my metered eraser here. Gotta clean some of this up. And I wanted to make sure that the next time I came on, I would have something to say, and it wasn't just me drawing, because anybody can draw, I guess. And maybe you guys can tell me, I guess, in the notes later on after this has been here, or if you guys want to comment in the chat. I see that the number has grown by a couple. I'm excited. I'm also drinking a can of Bang, which probably shouldn't show that. They probably don't want to advertise with me, and they gave it to me for free at an event I was at yesterday. Hold on. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's really good. Caffeine free. I like it. So anyway, so I started to I've been kind of messing around. I started coming on YouTube a little more, trying to explore what exactly is going on YouTube, and I was very curious about one Ethan Van Sciver and his recent, ascension and success that he's having there. Whoa, how long will you be live? Have to go to work, Brian? I'll be honest for another hour or so. Good afternoon, sir. Daniel, what's going on, my friend? Uh-oh. What's going on in here? The screen is black? Is the screen black? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I might have to redo this here. Hold on. Can anybody see me? Anybody out there see me? Anybody make sure that you guys see? Can you guys hear me? So Daniel, I'm concerned. Are you saying you can't see me? Oh, you see me fine. Okay, good. All right, so the lab can't see me for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I've been paying attention to some of that discussion and no. So I came on here to try to give myself just to get an education on what's happening, and I've fallen down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, and I've been giving a lot of thought and frankly a lot of prayer. I'm a praying man. I'm not as much of a prayer as I used to be. I used to pray a lot before when I was younger, man, but I'm kind of I'm not as religious as I used to be, but I'm a faith man, a man of faith, if you will, and I do care about what God says, and I just been thoughtful about that. I've had great conversations with my business partner, Andy, or here he's known as the Lab Comics, and one of the things I appreciate about Andy is that I know that sometimes I drive him crazy with my bouncing back and forth, but he's been very patient with me, and we have a good relationship like that. Let's see here. So Faya says, I see fine too. Okay, as long as you guys can see. I don't know what happened. Something happened. YouTube stopped working on my phone a little bit ago when I started. I was a couple minutes in, so maybe that affected. Maybe you have to refresh. So I've been paying attention, man. I've been paying attention to what's going on here. And, I decided that I need to start moving into a direction where I am communicating more about maybe having more of a position. I don't like, I've never really been one, if you've ever worked with me in any capacity, I've never been one to hide back my feelings about things. And I did for a long time on social media. And I don't want to be a political person necessarily. I'm not interested in that. But what I do want to be is, I do want to stand up for what I think is important. And by standing up, I don't mean like I'm going to change the world by any stretch, but I do want to, I do want to do my part. Okay. So for me, listening to some of the arguments, I had some serious concerns about some stuff. I had bringing up the topic of Comics Gate. I started to do some research, and I know that before I continue, I know that by talking about this, I'm probably going to get flagged on some social media places, but that's okay. It's okay. I think those of you guys who know me well enough. Even those of you who may have had a casual experience with me know me well enough to know that I'm a reasonable man. I'm not a racist. I'm not a homophobic person. I'm not, and I care. I do care about anyone in this. Now, I didn't always think that way, to be honest. Didn't always think this way, but as the years have as the years have gone by, I've cared more about stuff like this. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, and it may affect. I mean, I'm starting out the gate talking about some of this stuff, so maybe maybe that's killing my channel as I speak. But it's all right, man. I am a man of principle. I gotta say that. And so I do want to just at least, say be on board with what I'm on board with. So I started paying more attention to this topic of the comics gate versus what's going on in the comics. And the irony is that I actually agree with a lot of what's being said, much of what's being said. Sometimes I run into something that I'm just like, but it's not the kind of thing that and one of the things I feel is important is that we gotta be grown up about these things, folks. We gotta be grown up. I don't agree with everything my wife says. My wife doesn't agree with most things I say. And if you've known me in any capacity, you probably don't agree with me most of the time. But we can always agree to disagree, and still work together, still be kind to each other. And that's really my focus, my goal. So, with that said, we're not going to have 100%, you know, alignment. But I don't think we should. I don't think we should. And I think that's some of the stuff that I'm a little nervous about when I'm hearing coming out of some of these folks on Twitter, and some of the conversation is coming out of that. I think people have taken the side and they've created echo chambers for themselves where they could only hear what they want to hear. I also am concerned though, because while some people feel very strongly about this topic in support of Comicsgate being a movement where it seems to have been started by conservatives, but I think what I'm learning is that many people in the movement aren't even necessarily conservative. We come from different walks of life. Maybe many are. Maybe most are. Maybe I should say that. But I'm hearing different voices. I'm hearing them loud and clear too, and that excites me. That excites me to be part of a truly diverse community versus what I think is being perpetuated as diversity, and it's not. And so one of the things I want to do while I'm here, from time to time, I do pick up comic books, and unfortunately, I'm not. Well, no, not for me, I guess. I am not as politically motivated about what I buy or not, whatever. Oh, what's up, Heck? How you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. Man, this thing doesn't do a quick update of my live feed. It doesn't show it to me. It just leaves it on the bottom. Anyway, I think it's important. I was concerned because sometimes in any kind of situation where tribes develop, people tend to kind of join one side or the other, and the very thing that they complain about is also being done on their side. And I want to just be careful about that. I don't want to be guilty of my own echo chamber. I know that that's probably going to happen. And I also want to say that I like comics a lot. I love superheroes a lot. There are some creators here or there, and I don't like the idea of boycotting. But I will say so. I will support product that's put together by creators that I care about in support of them, even though I know I'm not really sending them direct money. But I do. When I see them at shows and such, I do support them. So I'm not really interested in promoting big companies, but I gotta say, there's some stuff being produced that I love. And one of those things is being produced. And to be perfectly fair, I haven't read an issue yet, but I gotta be honest, anything that Lee Weeks is on, I pick up. So, Mr. Weeks, if you're out there, I love you. I support you, brother. This is a great work of art. This is some of the best stuff you've done in years. Just want to tell you that. It's really good. Let's see who's going on here. Youssef, how are you? How are you? So, by the way, I also have a Patreon for those of you who may encounter this video along your passing bys. You may discover that you want to support me further. Some of you remember me from your experiences on Instagram. I will say to you that I also have a special Instagram account just for my patrons. This is me expanding what I'm doing there and taking it further. So if you want to support me more directly and really be how do I say this? There was a great discussion I heard earlier in the video. Supporter of the arts, my arts in particular, consider going to patreon.com. I'll put the link in the notes. Patreon.com/Elliot Fernandez Art. And that would be exciting if you could join me on this effort. So that support will help me fund the overall Jerkmonger Studio effort, but also will help me in this production of this type of material, this type of content. So there you go. Support as you will, if you can, and if you can't, no sweat, no sweat. All right. All right, so I am trying, this is a commission of Wonder Woman. I'm just kind of reminding myself of her structure, the face, and then from there I will continue to. Now, when I mentioned earlier that the Black and Red series is a fusion of comic art and graphic design, that also means that I look for minimalism. Artistically, I'm in love with minimalism in general, and I love art that's complicated, but I really enjoy art that's just does what it represents what it is for what it is, and a long time ago. Yusuf, I do remember you from Twitch. I do. The Egyptian guy. Yeah, I remember. I remember Yusuf. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta pay attention to these chats. I gotta get better at reviewing chats and making sure that I acknowledge everybody. So I look for opportunities in this work on how I can. By the way, guys, feel free to like this and share it. Share with your friends if you think they would benefit at all from this type of content. Like I said, I'm shifting away from Instagram and some of that kind of stuff to here. I am also going to continue to produce exclusive content for my patrons on my special Patreon Instagram account, but here I like to build my audience. I like to build my audience here on YouTube. And this is one of those ways that we can hopefully work together. Okay, let me see. Hell yeah. Nice. Yeah, if you have some Twitch heads that still remember me, they may want to come over here to to this section and we can have fun here. Yes, yes, yes. Say what you want. I don't know if I can sing. Can I sing? Can I sing on these shows? I don't know if I can sing. I used to sing all the time. Remember in the old days on Twitch, Yusef? I used to sing, but I've encountered challenges to that sort of stuff, so I'm careful these days. Let me see if I can't get this cruising here. The good old days, the house music. Hey, listen, the good old days are still here, Yusuf. These are the good old days. We are living them right now. This is what this is. I'm coming back to live streaming on bigger platforms. I feel great about coming over here to to YouTube. So, like I said, if you would like to support that effort, let your people know. Let your people know about what I'm doing here. This is an important move for me. So yeah, so I keep so the rest of my conversation about this Comics Gate thing, I'm really weird about the whole thing. It's I can see that there's opposition to just people doing well. I I have a funny feeling that there's more to it than what meets the eye, and I'm just putting that lightly. You know, I don't know that some of the people in charge, and this is where the reason why I feel a certain level of connectedness to this group is because of some of my observations that I've made in the past for these companies anyway. It does seem like it does seem like what's happening at these companies is anti-business. It does seem like that. I don't know what I would do if I was an editor at these companies today. The way some of the people try to dismantle stuff in the X-Men animated show. The X-Men animated show. What the hell? What the hell are you talking about, bro? What the hell? All right. So, the good old days. That was your good old days, the X-Men animated show. I think this is going pretty good. This is supposed to be the La Mujer Maravilla, the Wonder Woman. That never really translated properly from Spanish to English for me. I didn't quite understand that whole thing. I know this is not her modern costume, but this is how I draw it. So yeah, so maybe there's some of you who may have just heard me talking with Antonio on his channel. Maybe some of you don't know much about me. I am an artist and illustrator, independent here in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. I am I'm a longtime comic book fan, but also a fan of animation and cartoons and games. I my son would argue that I'm not as big a fan of games. That's because I don't know much about Fortnite or why people play it, but I also understand that it. I do understand that it's popular. I'm just saying. It's just I like story games, but you know, hey, battle games are fun as well. I hate playing with people that are playing games so much of the day that you were the comic relief. Mujer mantequilla. Butter woman. Everybody's waiting. Butter woman. Yeah, man. Or she's not, that's not really butter, right? That's margarine woman, but I'm not going to go there. Mantequilla, I think, is margarine, right? Am I right about that? Am I right about that? But if that's margarine, what's butter? I don't know. We're gonna leave that alone for now because I don't have a proper things for that. This is working out pretty good, guys. Are we looking good? I think it's good. So, yeah, what was I saying? Help me out, guys. I blank out sometimes. No, it's butter. So what's margarine? Margarina? I don't know. Hector, help me out, man. So anyway, I'm back to building up this channel. I'm excited about it. I'm going to start posting some specific videos for here, but I'm also working on tightening up what I'm offering on Patreon too. So just kind of letting everybody know about that. You like the majeria? I'm making stuff up, man, because I'm New Yorican. That's how I do it. I didn't come from the island, so I don't have a strong language grasp. I say foolish things in support of my people. All right, so there you go. I'm also want to talk. I want to use this space also to talk about movies and things. There's all that kind of good stuff, man. That's how we do. Best cartoon entrance was Jace and the Wheel Warriors. Jose, what's up, dog? What's up, man? Yo, I'm here. I'm here now. I'm taking it to this level. I think I'm gonna be modifying my Patreon. Hey, by the way, I just so you know, I have that Patreon there for the patrons. I saw that you tried to join it, and I apologize, but brother, that's just for the patrons. So, but if you enjoy the chats, we're gonna be doing some of that here. Although I'm gonna be providing very specific content over there. I gotta start thinking about that. I might have to create yet another patron Instagram account where I can do. This is for those of you who are interested in like some education. I want to do one-on-one education stuff. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I still haven't decided how I want to approach that, but where I can go over specific things on how I do things, and those questions could get answered there, and that might be more helpful, beneficial to people who are asking me those kinds of things anyway. So, anyway, Wonder Woman. Everybody's waiting. Wonder Woman. So yeah, I don't like being on the fence on stuff, and I just, like I said, I started listening to a little more, and you know, I see that what seems like an effort to derail comic books coming from the other side, I guess. I hate talking in those terms, but it looks like people want to hurt comics by not making it accessible to people. From a reading perspective, from a story perspective. So I'm in support of this indie movement. I know for a while I have these independent stories in my head. I'm going to be unveiling something soon with the help of my business partner, a concept that I'm super, super excited to roll out that is starting to evolve. It was one idea. Andy, I got to talk to you about it if you're out there. I don't know if you are. It's the one we've been talking about, but I have a different angle on it that fits some of where I'm at today, you know, from my personal interests and stuff. So I can't wait to share that with you, bro, and get your read on that. Also, for those of you who may or may not know, Andy and I created a business called Big Bridge Designs. It's about developing big bridges to cross over from one spot to another. Hold on a second here. So speaking, sweet, glad to see you showing off your work. Thanks, brother, I appreciate that. So speaking of the good old days, Wonder Woman is Al-Mara al-Agipa in Arabic, like how you read it. Did I read it right? Al-Mara al-Gipa, al-Agipa. Hey, Elliot, can you give me, this is Fayal, can you give me a word of wisdom? Uh-oh, here we go. First word of wisdom, words of wisdom, because I'm an amateur, I'm feeling completely lost. I don't know how to evolve. I know that I have to practice, but I'm feeling so lost. Well, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't have much to offer you in the way of response to that, because believe it or not, being lost is part of the process. That is part of how you find your way. Is you first have to realize there is no way yet until you discover your way, your path. And I'm not a universalist either. I'm saying that when it comes to art, you have to create your interpretation of something. You do your thing, and your style emerges from your mistakes. Frankly, that's really what would be considered mistakes and limitations are really what define your style. So, you know, call that what it is. Hold on. I'm gulping live. How's that? Hey, you guys like that? Is that gross? I don't know if it's gross. Is it gross? Help me out here, guys. Help me out. So anyway, Fael, that's my. It really is something you have to kind of power through. You have to keep pushing through and feeling your way through some of that. And as you continue to grow and develop, that's going to be the your solution. But I definitely would encourage you to don't stop. What has helped if you're asking specifically for tools or ways to help navigate through those dark times, if you will, the lean times of art. Don't be afraid to borrow, trace. If it's a growth in art and how to draw, don't be afraid to trace things and to get your engine primed, if you will. I don't claim those things as your own, because I see people do that all the time. But give credit where credit is due. But you know, so hibaro. You nailed it, dude. What am I nailing? Wonder Woman. Am I nailing Wonder Woman? Everybody's waiting. Wonder Woman. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Dun, da-da-dun. Remember that part? I used to love that part. You guys, did you guys love like I loved? Did you love, what's her name? Linda Carter. I loved Linda Carter. She was my crush. My crush. All right. So like I said, I'm not working in the studio right now. I'm working in my dining room, much to my wife's dismay. She had it back for a little while, but I'm back here again because she's not here right now, and I can sneak. When I creep for art. I creep for the love of art. So I'm like, yo, she's not here. Check it out. It's like naughty art, except nothing naughty about it. Okay, so I have this. Okay, so this here is coming this way. And that's her hair. I need to give her something here, a little more. She needs more muscles, I think. I like her being. I like it when Wonder Woman is sassy. I love it when she's that sassy. She's so beautiful. Oh, I love her. She's so beautiful. But I like it when she's strong too. I like strong women. This is one of the things that I'm talking about. Like I hear some people comment that there's a movement to make women more masculine. I guess so, but I gotta tell you, I when I see a strong, healthy woman and she's been working out, I dig that. I really can't lie about that. I kind of dig it. She will. I mean, let's put it this way. I find that attractive. But, some people don't. I also dig strong women. I like when I see, like, a woman that I had a crush on for a long time, but I didn't realize I had a crush on. I didn't like the way she looked as much, but I found her super attractive, was, what's her name? Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. I used to think, man, that's something about her. I don't, 'cause I think it's because she's skinny. I'm Puerto Rican guy, so Puerto Ricans tend to gravitate towards girls of thickness. You know what I'm saying? We like the thick girls. I'm a Frazetta person, to be honest. How to say, you said it perfectly. How to say it right, you said it perfectly. Oh, right on. Thank you, Yusef. Intimidating, yes. Yeah. When a woman's like, oh, hey, like, wow, she's a woman. She's all. You know what it is? I think I don't know. This might be weird. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't share this stuff. But yeah, I'll share it. It's like when I was a kid and I had a crush on a teacher. And there's something about a teacher, when you crush on a teacher, that's like she's a woman. She would never look my way. I had this teacher in what was that grade? I want to say fifth grade was Miss Blakely. She was beautiful. Oh my gosh, she was beautiful. And she was a tall black woman. She was just she was like Storm. She had big hair like Storm. She was awesome. Maybe that's why I like Storm so much. Ah, that could be why. Huh. Huh. Yeah, but I like Mohawk Storm. I like Mohawk Storm. Mohawk Storm is a lot more interesting to me. She's more appealing to me. But anyway, my point is that I just found her just powerful. And I don't know, I just find that interesting. Maybe because I've always been kind of the bigger guy. I've always been the larger dude or the, you know, I don't know, maybe I just feel like comfortable. Maybe it's Freudian. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. We're going to stop talking about that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to stop talking about that. That's something to explore. So why I think, like some people didn't like that character in the last Captain America run, which I got to say, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in that last Captain America run, the one with Chris Samnee. Not because of Chris Samnee, because I love Chris Samnee. In fact, Chris Samnee, you have my heart, homie. You have my heart. But I'm going to tell you the truth, though. I don't like Mark Waid anymore. I really don't like him. And he doesn't care. He doesn't know who I am, and then that's all right. But, 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 I, uh, but I like that character that people complained about, which is the female character, who, Cap elevated at some point to suggesting she should be the leader, and I thought it was good. I thought she was a big girl. She was a big girl. See, that's the thing though. Sometimes big girls and muscle girls get kind of mixed in there together. You know what I'm saying? It's their authority that they project, says Hector. Oh, yeah, I think so. Fael says, thank you so much. I really appreciate your words. I'm very happy. Right on, man. Sketch therapy, boricuas en la casa. I don't know what pun means. Punny. Okay, la voy a parar ahí porque no sé cuáles son las reglas del lenguaje aquí. Voy a respetar tu casa. LOL, Mike no le gustan los mal hablados o otros no le importa. Saludos. A mí no me importa sketch, but I don't know how to speak Spanish very well, so bear with me. I don't know how to draw women at all, says Yusef. Yet still, what should I do? What should I do? Punya, I get you. Sketch, I appreciate that. To be honest, I'm usually kind of prudish about that. I usually want to keep, but you know what? I'm not going to hold people back, man. I'm also a libertarian. You got to do what you got to do. But I would just say consider the young people who may be joining. I want to keep it as family, all ages as possible. So if you could do that for me, that would be awesome. If you could do that for me, if it's difficult for you, if you cannot find it in your heart to consider the young boy or girl who wants to come and become part of the Jerkmonger Nation, if you feel like you just don't get that, you just don't understand the potential that we have to change the world, I guess a little puñera is okay. But I'm just saying, if you can, though, if you can find it in your heart, my friend. Rice and beans, nene, rice and beans, no te apures. Yeah, so anyway, it did it again. It just kicked me off and put me back on. Oh, man. It's not difficult. I chat with Mike a lot. Oh, sketch therapy. I remember now. What's up, Holmes? What up, dog? No te apures, chico. No, está bien. Most people don't speak English or speak Spanish or read Spanish, so it's okay. Well, hopefully I get some more than just Puerto Ricans in this channel anyway. But anyway, back to that, of course. And by the way, man, you were dropping some ciencia, some science. Those for those of you who don't speak Spanish, which I barely speak Spanish. I'm just letting people know. Dropping la ciencia, that whole thing about your points on freedom and the concerns you have. But I gotta say, man, one of the things that I want to bring about in the conversation, and not that anyone's asking me, right? So I don't know that people care about what I have to say. To be perfectly frank, I thought it was very cool that Antonio brought me on the other night, but on his stuff, and I did reach out to Umbrella Guy because I asked a weird question. And I think some people were like, what? And it wasn't trying to out anybody as far as the movement is concerned. Tyler said, dang, dude, making me wish I could speak Spanish. Dang. There are many Boricuas in Comicsgate. What? No, but the one thing that I would, and this is where I am today. I'm in a different place. And one of the things that I say is I want to, as a Christian, as a believer, I want to, I'm an older guy too. I just turned 45 recently. And I've had my time, and I've been very political, and sometimes my politics has made me, while I may have been right in some cases, it's also made me an ugly person in many cases. And, I think the way to win, I've been listening to the conversation very carefully, maybe too much though, maybe too much, because I get sad sometimes when I hear some of the conversation. But I feel like, I feel like, you know, there's a not okay. So this is something I used to say when I used to teach young people. Yeah, some people wouldn't believe it if they heard that I used to be a youth pastor, but nevertheless, that was a different time for me too. But nevertheless, one of the things I used to say was that I'd rather, instead of pointing out all the time how ugly some people are, no, you were awesome, Sketch. You were awesome. I'm looking forward to maybe even meeting with you sometime. I don't know where you're at, but maybe one of these days we'll get to hang out. I'd rather point out, instead of pointing out how ugly I am, because I already know how ugly I am, I'd rather point out how beautiful Jesus is. And that's kind of the way I feel about some of the ideas in Comicsgate. I support the ideas of Comicsgate insofar as I believe in the free market. I believe that the free market is the best scenario. It's not the perfect scenario. It's not perfect. There's nothing perfect about the ways of men. But as it relates to how we conduct business in this country, it's important. And so, but I'd rather spend more energy, instead of being angry about it, in demonstrating what is positive about it. Not just what's positive as far as the movement is concerned, but the positivity that it has on the market. I think that's a much more attractive conversation that I think might be getting lost in some of the anger. But, suffice it to say, I think her arm's too low, but I'm gonna pretend her arm's this low. We're gonna pretend, yeah, something like that. I don't know, maybe. But that's just my perspective on that. I'm super pumped up to be counted, and I want to be, but I want to also maintain my own stuff with that too. I love the way you guys talk though about it, so definitely on board with that. Nestor, hello, what's up? Let's see. Yusuf says, can you do a video on how to draw the female face and body? Yusuf, I just did a video. I'm doing it right now. I'm literally just doing it. Right before your eyes. The art is getting did, homie. The art is getting did, homie. Used to be my homie. Used to be my ace. And again, publicly, Sketch, thank you for your service, brother. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, brother. All right, so what I'm doing here is, whenever I get to this point in my drawing, I would do this. See, I was hoping to draw with my other pencil, which I can't seem to find. I literally lost that pencil on my table right here. Anyway, I try to knock down this stuff. En el área de Metro Borinquen, Bella Puerto Rico. Yeah, you're right. Everyone in my community, me regañan mucho, though. They scold me a little. I'm usually a contrarian, but I respect them too much to get feisty. That's cool. Excuse me, but I don't understand because I speak French. Nestor, don't worry about it. I don't speak French. So we don't speak English very well. I don't speak French very well. So we're going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to be okay. I do happen to speak Spanish, so I try to, or at least read it decently. So I'll try to read it from time to time. And I welcome anyone, because that's another thing. To be perfectly honest, we don't have a lot of Spanish people. We don't have a lot of, I don't. I have always been encountering Americans and other people in my chats. So it's nice to have people. We kind of feel at home. But fear not, you are welcome here in my home regardless. If you are from France, If you are from Egypt, if you are from Portugal, I don't care where you're from, you're welcome in the Jerkmonger house. Don't worry about that. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna support each other. We're gonna love each other. Un, deux, trois. Is that what you're saying? Are you trying to count in French? All right, so now I'm coming to the part in the illustration where I am inking this. This is the tool that I use. I know someone's gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it now. Maybe Hector remembers my response. I don't know, some people don't remember. Brooklyn, Brooklyn, what? I'm from the Bronx. Blastmaster KRS1. Uh-oh. I went a little far for you guys. I went a little too far back. I'm showing my age and my interest in hip hop. I'm sorry. I'm an old man. Not that old though. I'm not that. Actually, Andy corrected me the other day. He says we're not old, man. We're middle age. Brush pen. It is brush pen, but the rest of the answer is, oh, I hate answering this question. I get this question so much on Instagram. It's almost like, guys, get an account, open up a window in Google or whatever it is that you use to surf the net, and open it to Amazon and type in art supplies and just see what comes up. If it has ink, you should probably check out a website called JetPens. See what happens. I'm just saying, see what happens. Boogie Down, what's up? Gabriel Ross, what up, what up? Who are you drawing? And by the way, that was true old school real hip hop. You know it is, Gabriel. You know it is, dog. You know it is. That's what I'm saying. Refillable Pentel. It is refillable. It's called a pocket brush pen. But I'm saying this to the people who are going to ask me that question 101,000 times. You don't. Don't ask 100,000 times, please. If you want to really turn me off, if you want me to just shut down, oh my God. But hopefully someone in the chat will go, hey man, it's this. Boom, and they'll drop the mic. And then you'll be like, oh. Because that's kind of where I'm at with this. Did I lose you, Sketch? Did I lose Sketch? I feel like I lost Sketch, man. I feel like I lost Sketch. I think I made Sketch. Did I make Sketch upset? No, because he's from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 ba. My mother-in-law, she used to have that song come up on her phone, and she was working with me for a little while in my office. And every time, she's a very social butterfly, very big social butterfly. Every time she get a phone call, Puerto Rico. You earn my respect. We should get together with Acevedo and Critis. They are more of us, but we can talk about our perspective. Boricuas are like Mandalorians. We claim PR, but heart by blood. That's word. That's what's up. Okay, you should put it in permanent in the description, your art tools. That's a good idea. But I also feel, Hector, like that's a cop out, man. Look, again, I'm a free market guy, man. And one of the things that I'm big on is figuring it out yourself, man. That's what I did. I worked hard. And listen, if we're friends, I'm down. Ask me anytime. But some people are like, they just want to come around to ask me, hey man, what you got? What you use? And this and that. And then what happens is, that's fine. But then they don't learn nothing. They don't learn nothing, man. They leave the conversation with as little information as when they came into the conversation. So, it's unfortunate, but it actually works against them, I think. That's coming from the teacher in me, So, that maybe that's going to be part of like a way. And one of the things I want to teach, some people have been asking me about stuff. I want to teach how to study other artists, but I also want to teach how to problem solve. Critical thinking. I think it's where this is where we beat out the animals. This is where, monkeys, they're never going to write Shakespeare, no matter how many times they tap that keyboard or that typewriter. With this, are there any typewriters anymore? Oh no. You ain't leaving. Thank you, Sketch. I appreciate it, brother. The Logan and Sci-Fi, what did you feel about? Did I watch the Logan Sci-Fi? I don't know, man. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I'm a little lost now. Listen, I spend most of my energy. This is gonna sound weird. I don't work in comics anymore, but I spend most of my energy drawing in my studio. And lately, because so I don't have a lot of other voices coming into my head telling me, "Hey, did you check out this file? Did you see this?" What I do a lot of times, I spend a lot of times now on YouTube. And when I'm on YouTube, one of my favorite things is to listen to audio. So have you listened to the latest Horror Babble narration of Watcher in the Dark at all by H.P. Lovecraft? I don't know. See, that's the kind of question I would ask you, and you'd be like, what's that?" And then I'd be like, "Well, I'm sorry, man. Then you're not down." That's funny. Were you a big John Buscema fan? Your work reminds me of his a little bit. Oh, you know what, Gabriel? I'm learning to love you. I don't even know you that well, and I love you now. I love you. Maybe I do know you. Maybe we don't know. Maybe I know you from somewhere else. But yeah, he was a big, big influence on me for sure, man. For sure. Logan Paul. Oh. No, I did not watch that. I don't know who Psy is. I'm. You know what? Logan Paul, I know because my daughter likes him. When you said Logan, I thought you meant like, I thought some MMA fighter. I'm gonna get there though. Trust me, I'm gonna get there. We're gonna understand what's happening. I'm not gonna be that boomer noob guy that people will make fun of forever. I just said noob, so that means I'm already dating myself. But I'm gonna do my best, my absolute best, to win and earn thy respect. Because I might be older, but I'm not dumb. I just don't spend a lot of time doing the stuff that you guys do. So I'm working on it, brother. I'm working on it, Yusef. Let's see. Are her eyes straight? Or at least evil, even? I think so. Well, anyway, yeah. So again, man, check out the Indiegogo if I haven't already mentioned it, which I know I have, but just because I'm supposed to sound like I'm supposed to sound like I just made that up on the fly. Oh yeah, by the way, that's how you do that. That's that, and you're not supposed to let anybody know, right? See how well I did that. So just a little, yeah. Anyway, I have an Indiegogo campaign for an art book. If you guys are interested in supporting that art book, it's called Black and Red. It is essentially what I'm doing right here is a piece that will get scanned and will probably be part of volume two. And so what I do is I do some that are just for fun or that I sell on Instagram or other social media outlets. But there are also commissions, and so those commissions end up in the book. And right now we are over 50% of the way into having it funded to then take that, and I will be seeing some of you in New York Comic Con, God willing, with that book in hand. Let's see here. Did you know Cyberfrog comes from a Boricua that saw Uncle E and got jungle fever? She bought him a coquille as a souvenir after a trip to Liza, and he looked at the coquille and created Cyberfrog. No kidding. Did you know I met Ethan a long time ago in a store setting here in Tampa when he was working on Cyberfrog in the very beginning? That's crazy. That's also a true story. When will that book be available? Brother, the campaign is going right now, Gabriel. It's going right now. If you go to Indiegogo, again, I'm going to put that information in the notes section. But if you go to Indiegogo and you type in Elliot Fernandez or Black and Red series, maybe just type in Elliot Fernandez, you'll see it there. I really recommend if you like this kind of art that I'm doing, it's a book full of that. It's going to be cool. You're going to dig it. Go get it. Go get it. So yeah, John Buscema was a big, big deal to me. Big, big deal to me when I was coming up. I don't like her eyes. Let me fix that. I think I started to draw them too low in the first place. You know what, too? She looks like she's gonna get hit by a truck, and she's like, oh snap, that truck is coming. Let's see. So the goal is to have that book available in October. That's the thing. We're gonna wrap up the campaign here shortly, and then launch it, have it published and ready to go. It's going to get shipped in October. So it will be fulfilled before the end of October. So it's also functioning as like a test for us to try it, to do this campaign. He's my favorite all-time artist. Have all his runs on Avengers. Yeah, I have his runs on Avengers. I have his run. I think I have all of his Tarzan stuff. I have his Fantastic Four work. I'm also a big fan of his work on Silver Surfer. Big fan of his work on Silver Surfer. And especially his work on Conan, although there's a slight caveat there. I'm not crazy about his stuff when it was inked by Ernie Chan. I didn't like Ernie Chan. I felt like he harmed some of what I think John was doing. Although I think John liked Ernie's stuff. I think the reason why I didn't like it was because, and this is nothing against. I mean, I'm sure Ernie was a fine man. I'm sure. But for me personally, I think he overworked Buscema's stuff. Okay, my phone battery is about to die, so let me just plug in my charger. Bam! Now we're cooking with grease. Now we're cooking with manteca. That's butter, y'all. So anyway, yeah, Ernie was he. I think he. But see, I think the reason why John liked him was because I think he kind of added a grit to his work. A grit to his work. Do you still use inking pens from same parts or just the brush pens? Because I feel like the brush pen is going to be really hard. What's that now? Or for some parts, sometimes I use but I've gotten pretty good with the way I use the pen. I feel like I can handle it pretty well. It's in his videos that always stay with me. We are the jungle fever island. If not for Boricua jungle fever, there would be no cyber frog. We're everywhere on earth bringing peoples together. it's, that's true. I'm doing this little series, man. I've been doing this series on Instagram. You can see it there, of like I'm also a big fan of tattoo design and stuff, and this is kind of like my love song to all of that. In Saturday morning cartoons, Jack Kirby, sci-fi, fantasy, Frazetta, all that stuff. And but it has a very heavy line weight, and it's called Big and Juicy. I'll be releasing more images of that as we get closer to New York Comic Con for sure. But anyway, I did a couple of designs where I was doing these fruits. And that's kind of how it started. I was drawing this little broccoli thing. I was like, oh, it'd be cool with broccoli. I was thinking about Groot. And I thought, what if he was a stalk of broccoli? And then from there I did a strawberry, and then I did something else. I did a banana, and my buddy's from Puerto Rico. He goes, hey man, I'm waiting for the guava. I started laughing because one of the ideas I had was to do a quenepa. So there's gonna be these angry quenepas, angry guavas, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, so even the way I'm drawing her, she looks a little Latina, right? She could be. Yeah, I love that aesthetic. Frazetta was all about that, man. He captured our people before he even realized it was our people. Our ladies. The ladies. They're so beautiful. Let's see. Yeah, so anyway, back to your question, Yusuf. I will probably use the pen on most of this illustration. This brush pen, rather. I just feel comfortable with it. And especially when I'm building a lot of this stuff. See how I'm building that line there? Didn't come off very heavy, but I can do heavier lines, but I like the look of it when it's more put together versus completely finished. Anyway, all right, so Wonder Woman, everybody's waiting, Wonder Woman. With all the mighty powers you possess. I don't have that song right, I know, but thank you for not tearing me up, folks. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. See, when you don't have the words, you just shift into ba-da-ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. And you just do that for a while, and people think, oh my gosh, he knows. Like, I don't know. I just made that up. That's why I went with the ba-da-ba-da-ba-das. Let's see. It says, how you peeps from here come out from the hurricane. This was a bigger Hurricane Hugo. I remember that one, but this was worse. Yeah, man. I tell you what. That's a whole other thing, man. That's a whole other thing. How you doing with all that, man? How you holding up with all that? Have you guys have you had any advance or improvements upon the situation at all and where you're at? I found out from some of my family in Puerto Rico that things are getting better. Watch her every week. Watch her every week on MeTV. Oh, MeTV. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. How can I get the chat to stay on? I want to keep it on. I don't want to turn it off. I know. I think I pressed this, right? There you go. There we go. I got it now. I got it now. See what I'm talking about? I might be new to some of this, but not really. I'm not dumb. We'll figure it out. Boom, 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 boom. If this world were mine. I'm singing to Wonder Woman because she's looking at me with love in her eyes. I will place that. Okay, so I gotta go. Always a pleasure to see you draw. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you too. I think we're gonna be seeing each other this weekend, right, man? Heading up to South Kakalaki. All that I own, you've been so good to me. Okay. Yeah, she looks like a. She looks like a girl I used to date. AAAE, turning lights and water on and off. The left and right, stealing left and right area. Metro doing better, but out on the countryside amount. Still rough. Mm. Oh, I don't think I got the right thing anyway. So I can't keep the chat on, huh? Okay. And then speaking of changes, I'm also making another change. Some of you may know that I'm a pretty good fan of using vellum surface Bristol board, like what I'm using here. I'm actually going to be switching over to smooth, man. I've decided to make that adjustment. For me, it was mostly in how my pencil would glide across the paper, but I played around with some new tools lately. I've been doing some experiments, and I've decided that the way to go for me is going to be with smooth board. Just I think it's gonna be easier on my materials and tools. So there you have it. That's if anybody cares about that sort of thing. All right, all right. Low battery. Why the low battery? How can it be low battery? Oh, I see why. Cause I'm I'm pushing video through, and it was already low. Oops. Oopsie. Oopsie. Lucy, you have some explaining to do. Yeah. So. But yeah, man. So listen, Sketch. I'm gonna be doing these videos soon through Google Hangout. So I will, if you don't mind, man, send me a DM and so I can, if you want to come on board with me, we can chat it up, man. Whatever works for you. If that's what something you're interested in. Are you a creator also, by the way? Okay. Part of this that's bothering me, I think, I don't want to add too many lines to her face. I think that's too many lines already, but I'll work on that. Yeah, I want to get better at this whole YouTube thing. Figure it out. Keep the love going. I'm a retired insomniac. Hell yeah, I'm on board. I'm at, what do we call it? Bergen Army on Twitter. Okay, cool. I'm going to follow you on there too. What's this say now? Yes, sir. Your audio. What's wrong with my audio, Hector? Hook a brother up. Hook a brother up. Hook a brother up. The closer I get to you. I'm just singing all kinds of songs, y'all. I hope y'all don't mind. I'm giving you all I've got. My mom used to say, when you do these things, you should sing. You have such a nice voice. She cracks me up. Alrighty, alrighty. So yeah, sketch man. I'm with you on all those things we were just discussing earlier. I'm good now. Okay, maybe it was just my singing, Hector. Maybe it was just my singing. What's wrong with me? But the downside to doing sketches like this and not just chatting is that I tend to zone out when I'm working like this, and then it's like, oh, what's the point if I'm not even talking anymore or looking at the chats? All right, I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better equipment. It's all gonna be great. It's gonna be great, y'all. It's gonna be great, y'all. I may have to change out my cartridge here soon. So when you're doing the recording with Daughtry, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know if he even cares about me that way anymore, but you ever seen Condorito as a kid? It's an old comic they used to have here. No, I don't, man. Send me some images, bro. Seriously, love the way how you ink. Thank you, Kevin. I'm like a few decades behind. No, man. Listen, you gotta remember, man, I've been drawing for a long time. And but there was a point where there was a quantum leap for me, and every time there's been a quantum leap for me, it's always come behind a lot of a specific time when there was a lot of work to do, and I had to get a lot of work done fast. So if that's any help, I would say practice getting your getting work done first of all. And believe me, that could be a hard thing, especially if you have a day job and you just don't feel like it. But give yourself a project that you can time yourself on and hold yourself accountable to a specific time. And I think if you can continue that this in a disciplined way, I think you will uncover solutions that you would never have uncovered had you just treated it as a passive hobby. And that's legit. I think that's how you handle that. They have a freaking movie of Condorito. I don't know. I don't like I told you, man. I live in my studio half the time, and I didn't watch a lot of Spanish things. Remember, Spanish wasn't my first language, so I didn't know what was going on. In what's a Condorito? What is Condorito? I can go Google it later, but I'm just saying. Condorito, ba ba da 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 da. I'm gonna drink some more. See, I still have a low battery problem. See, it's 10%. It's growing. It's just, it was a comic of a condor. Huh. Huh. Hmm. Huh. Condor, huh? Hmm. 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 That sounds really familiar. The one thing I had in Puerto Rico that was a big deal for me when I was growing up was that's when I was introduced to, believe it or not, I think that's when I was introduced to, well, that's not exactly true. Well, it's kind of true. To, well, the big cartoon when I was growing up for me, it was like the cartoon before everything else happened on the scene was Black and White Shades of Orange. Huh, that does really sound familiar. Or Cabeza Hueco. Condorito is risque, funny book, but not boring. Yeah, yeah. We'll make sure that we keep that away from Ethan. My thing was Messenger Messenger Z, and I didn't know anything about that. That was also kind of risque. I remember when the female robot, would fire rockets out of her. Well, that were her boobs. Her boobs were her rockets. Like that was hilarious. At that time, I just thought it was. I don't know. I was a little intrigued by that. But anyway, but the big cartoon when I was coming up, that was the only thing close to that was Battle of the Planets, or Gatchaman for those of you who are, and that's a big deal to me. Memin, I don't remember Memin tampoco. Jose, what's up, dog? Oh Lord, oh Lord, it's good times, good times, good times, good times, bop bop, betting these oh good times, bop 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 beep bop beep, good times. You know, I'm gonna try to do sketch. I'm gonna try to sing a song with Ethan. I'm gonna sing because he can't sing. Poor guy. I love him, but he can't sing. Keeping your head above water. Temporary layoffs, good times. Easy credit ripoffs, good times. But anyway, did I answer that question well earlier about the practicing thing? Or it wasn't even a question. You were just saying that we were 10 decades behind. Yeah, I don't accept that anymore. Not because I don't understand the frustration that people have with their own growth in art, but I know now that the art part is I remember when Mamin was hilarious and racist at home, but Boricuas have thick skin and great sense of humor. That's right. Battle of the Planets, catchy theme. Ba-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Yeah, that was good, Gabriel. Jose says, what do you think of this? Their sneaks to Doom Patrol. Hold on a second. Oh, okay, the Theo Nobel lineup, right? Oh, no, see, I caught Messenger before that when it was still like in the, I want to say the early 80s, before Thundercats. I don't know, man. Jose, I haven't, to be honest, man. I'm trying to talk to my boy about splitting that DC universe thing. I don't even want to pay for it 100%. I want to see it. I really do, man. But I don't know if I care enough anymore about any of that stuff. Like, the, if you're not, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I love the idea of digital comics. I love the idea of using digital for anything, frankly. But I feel like Starblaze was a classic as well. Yeah, man. Saturdays. Oh, Saturdays, so good. And all this sound like your Saturday in PR. Oh, I do remember some of that stuff, man. Because I remember whenever I go to vacation in Puerto Rico, I watch with my cousins. I'm like, yo, what is this? Oh my god, oh my god. But see, I didn't understand what it was. Now I'll watch a Japanese film without the subtitles. I don't even know what's going on. But back then, I just didn't know what to do. And I prefer Gatchaman to Battle of the Planets, by the way. Battle of the Planets, that weird Hanna Barbera thing, But it was a gateway, though. I will say that they accomplished something. There was something about that robot that, even though it wasn't part of the original animation, it worked for me at the time. I just don't like it today. But that's just a thing. It's a personal thing. Saturday in the park. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. So when I was in the choir, we were taught that if you find yourself in a position where you forget the words to a song, just say watermelon, 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 and that you would pretty much, it would look like you're singing the song. But then my cousins took that concept and they took it further and they started to say things like scrims to scrims to scrims to scrims, which is funny. Like Herbie in the FF cartoon. Yeah, but you know what though, Jose? I love me some Herbie. In fact, he's one of my favorite things. Did you ever get the, I don't know if you don't collect action figures. I collect the Marvel Legends and the ones that came from Walgreens that had Mrs. Fantastic. And she came with her with Kirby. Is it Kirby or Herbie? It's Kirby, right? Yeah. Which was awesome. Speaking of, the Silver Surfer's out already. Herbie. That's it. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'm drinking my drink again. This, just so you guys know, this show is sponsored by H2O. H2O keeps your body, what is it, 80%, 70% of your body's made of water. H2O. You got the Spider Ham. I got Spider Ham too. He's awesome. They got a new updated Messenger Infinity 2017. I got that nostalgia now. I think I'm gonna watch it today. I haven't seen that. Is that a real, is that a cartoon or is it a movie? Do you collect statue pieces as well? I do collect statues, Gabriel. I have mostly they're the black and white Batman stuff. Hold on. I'm trying to drink like a ninja. The last messenger I got into was what's the one with the two guys, the Devil Messenger? It was awesome. You know what else I like too? On Netflix, Cyborg 009, Devilman. That was a dope anime. Dope. And I mean dope like we used to use it in the 1990s. I mean dope. That girl's dope. Although I didn't like the Devilman Crybaby. I didn't care for that. That was garbage. That girl's dope. That girl's dope. So, Sketch, help me, man. Help me. So I noticed that a lot of what's happening in Comicsgate is is like 90s inspired. Is that an edict? Or is that something that, like, can I do my thing and be part of Comicsgate? Can I just be my own 70s, 80s influence guy? Does it have to be 90s? Just curious. I got phone calls coming in and everything. Anime Mazinger. Or as I used to say, Mazinga! Mazinger. See, I'm making up theme songs now. That wasn't even a theme song. Not a legitimate one anyway. I remember Koji Kabuto would get on his motorcycle and would jump then fly, rest on his head, and a glass Capullac would go. Yeah, man, that was awesome. I still love that. I had to go to church, help my father, Elliot. Thank for yours words. See you soon. Indeed, Fael. Indeed. Is this like a rebirth of Image? That's a great question. It's not really. It's not. It's. I think what it is that some people that are the current creators. This is what I think it is. I think the current crop, they have an affinity for how it was in the '90s, and I think the success of the '90s, the whole look and everything. I think that's where it's coming from, but it's not. It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. Like I have a story I want to do, but see, some of the art, I have different styles. Like I wouldn't want to do a comic in this style. And I think that's gonna be confusing to some people because people are gonna be like, "Yo, he's gonna do that comic. Look at his art, it's so fresh." which, that'd be awesome if they actually said that. They don't say that. I just said that because I have an ego to preserve. But this is what I was going to show you guys. You guys tell me what you think. Also, another book that I enjoy. I don't know. I don't know if it's soy. Sketch. I don't know if it's soy. You are a comic skate if you say you are saying it loud brings all the heat, so you get all the credit for taking the heat and all the support if you got the talent. Hopefully, hopefully. This book is dope. Have you read this? I love this artist too, Lorenzo De Felici. I don't know who he is, but I know this. This is gorgeous. I like this kind of stuff, right? But this kind of stuff I'm kind of been tooling around with. So I got this character I'm working on, and this is I think who he is. You guys, for those my long time supporters here, you wouldn't know who this is. The character I thought was going to be an Idris Elba guy, so I had that going. So this isn't too different. It's just more like, more like the other stuff that I like to do. But see, I like creatures like this guy. He's cool, I think he's cool. And then there's this guy here, frontal lobe man. He's got problems, but mainly because he can't wear a hat like normal kids can. He's pretty upset about that. But this is my guy, I think. I think this is my guy. I have the original signed by you. Which one are we talking about? What are we talking about original? Let's see. I'm trying to think if I have anything else around here I can show you guys. My other sketchbook. My other sketchbook's a Cadillac. Where did my other book go? I don't have it with me. I don't know what I did with it. I think it's in my office. Yeah, the skills, no doubt. There's no comic skate style. John Malin's Graveshift has a Japanese chibi style ash can. Is it really like that? Huh. I see the difference in style. Yeah, you can see the difference in style, but the construction's the same. That's the only thing that's weird. The construction's the same. All right, somebody asked me earlier about stuff. Maybe when I go into the ropes, I'll switch over to a different tool because I'll probably use this pen instead. I've discovered these. This is your regular microns, but they come in what's called a pen. You see that? Pen? Pluma? Pen? Doesn't translate as well in Spanish because there's no L. But anyway, and this is cool if you want to get that nice crispy looking style in there. So I'm going to do, just for the sake of conversation and because this is my show, how I use this tool. This is if you want to go a little more precise with your lines, and that's a concern of yours, but you could do a lot of stuff like doing those kind of little dingy lines, tink, 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 tink. Yeah, Malin's pretty good. You know who else is good too? I like that Kanan guy. He's pretty good, pretty cool. I like it. But I see a lot of 90s stuff, though. I see a lot of 90s cooking up in this space. And even like the 90s characters. Although, I'm actually going to be looking for a very specific writer to help me pull this project together that I have cooking. It's not the Jerkmonger. I was doing a comic called Jerkmonger for a bit. And as much as I was excited about that, I felt like it was a little bit bigger or a little bit overwhelming for me. I can get you monetized today through a Streamlabs. No waiting for monetization. No 30% to YouTube. Get paid daily and immediately. Whoa, Sketch. What's all that? Reach out to me, brother. Reach out to me. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, man. But the story I'm got cooking up. I don't know if I should I talk about it here. Is that something I should do? Is that wise? Should I talk about stuff like that while I'm online? I don't think I should because I don't know. Not that there's only a few of us here, though. It's kind of cool. I like when it's a small group, although as much as I'd like to grow this, I do like right now that it's just a smaller group. We can just all chill. It depends. It depends. What do you mean it depends? Like the Pampers for adults? What are you talking about depends? What did I say? I forgot what I said. Oh, I got you. What I said as far as saying stuff online. Okay. All right, I'll tell you. All right, so, and I'll do the thing that Ethan did the other day. I'm gonna give a disclaimer here that everything that I'm about to say is copywritten. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't know. Maybe I won't say it. She's looking good, man. Look at Wonder Woman. Ay, Dios mío, mira, pero mira, mira para allá. Mira, I need to know, please. Nah, yeah, be making stuff up now. Sounding extra New Yorican. Extra New Yorican with a little bit more pastelillo. Put a little more pastelillo. Oh, I'm gonna do a monster pastelillo too. If you should talk, okay. I'll walk you through it. If you need me, it's made for gamers on Twitch, but it works via PayPal and YouTube. I love Streamlabs. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk. I was thinking about doing Twitch, but if I do Twitch, I think I'm gonna actually do some gaming. I want to get more into gaming. I really do. I miss it, and I just don't have a good reason to do it right now because I don't get paid for it right now. But oh, monetization that way. I got you. I got you. Gotcha. I see now what you meant by that. Birdie, what's going on? What's going on? Tell me what's going on. Ah, 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 ah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Na, 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 na. Okay, okay, okay. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit. Here's my premise. My premise is, see, I always freeze up when I start talking about this stuff. So what it is there's for now, John and Mary Tate, which that's a whole other weird thing, but anyway, bear with me. Are 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 abducted on the night of their anniversary 23 years ago, without disappear without a trace. 23 years later, John is back, but Mary is not, and John now has abilities because of something that may or may not have happened to him while he was gone, and is waiting for his wife to come back. But in the meantime, the changes to his physiology allow him to be indestructible, although not not sans pain. And he opens up a firm he calls Fight Monster, and he's like a monster hunter fighter, dealing with creatures from everything from cryptozoology to kaiju to Cthulhu. There you go. That's the short version of it. Sketch my Twitter is Elliot Fernandez. I think it's Elliot Fernandez Art. It might be Jerkmonger. Oh, good, my man. Yeah, I don't know if that even piques your interest at all, but I think I just need someone to help me put that together as a better thing. I listened to Edwin do an interpretation of a story when they were campaigning for the Britweisers' Red Rooster. I was like, wow, that sounds awesome. I need to hire that guy to help me with that. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. And now Viva Comicsgate. Yeah, man, I love the Britweisers' Red Rooster concept. I love that stuff. I love Captain America, 1940s real Nazi fighters. And that one is super appealing to me, that story. I got to get to the point though where I can help support some of these projects though. I'm still working on that. Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. All right, so Wonder Woman is looking pretty fly, although I gotta say, just get a little bit of the bimbas going. A little bit of the bimbas going. It's okay. No, it's okay. No, está bien, mija. No, no te apures. No, pero mira para allá. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, no, pero mira. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Why aren't you tweeting this live stream, bro? I'll do it. Give me a second. Because I don't, to be honest, man, I don't have a really strong Twitter following. I don't know how to use that very well. And I don't, and I just hit live. I didn't even think to. When do you do that? Before or after? I don't know. Okay. Okay. I try to read everything like if it was me saying it out loud. Braggadocious. See? I love this look. I love combining the graphic stuff. Thank you, Sketch, man. I appreciate it, brother. I should get better at that, especially. But thank you for that, my friend. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on out there? Keep it down. Keep it down, peoples. I'm working in here. But see, what's great about this is you get the right control of the tool, you can get really nice, sharp lines. So I also discovered this tool. It's really not a discovery, but it's pretty sharp, pretty fun. The pit pens from Faber-Castell. And these are the ones that are used by, that I've noticed have been used by J. Scott Campbell. So I don't know if you guys care about that information, but I don't know why I did that, but did not intend to make those lines. I will have to blot those out in the rest of the video later as well. I'm pretty sure a few of your followers will come and check you out. I will, Kevin. I will say though, and this, like I said, this was like a revisit to YouTube, and I really want to try it out and get a better handle on it. I will say that I don't get a lot of happened again. Oh, Puerto Rico and live. Another great artist. Love his realistic cartoony style. Yeah. He's had a big influence on me too. Oops. Let me turn the camera around. Sorry, guys. My thing did a thing. Let's see. I'm back. Am I back? Are you guys back? Can you guys see me? Am I back? I'm back, right? I'm back. I'm back. Am I back? Am I back? No, am I back? Back. Yep. All right. Sorry, guys. My phone keeps wanting to cut me out. It's a conspiracy. T-Mobile said, "Nothing for you, my friend." So nobody commented on my idea, so I'm guessing that nobody thought it was good. I did it again. It did it again. Why does it keep doing that? I don't like it. See, that's why I got to pay attention to the thing, because if I don't, all kinds of terrible things can occur. All right, so keep that going. I'll go back to my pen and work on the. Sorry, guys. Sorry to I'm having all these technical difficulties. And this is another reason why I stayed away from YouTube for a while, because I can't seem to figure out why these things happen. But fortunately, with the app, it allows me to resume rather quickly, so it's not a total loss. You know, Sketch, I don't know if you're still there, man. I think I may have lost you, but I, um, I, since talking with you the other night or listening in on the discussion, I got I had a great conversation yesterday at this local event that I did with another veteran, and I didn't realize there was so many interesting, what do you call it, programs for veterans. I'm going to look into as well. Practice, practice, practice. You'll get good at YouTube. The thing is, it's the yeah. Well, I gotta get better. Yeah, of course. But this thing is not the. It's the phone itself keeps kicking me off, or the app keeps quitting on me. Sorry about that. Okay, that's cool. This is coming together, guys. This is coming together. Come together right now. Actually, that helps right there. There was probably too much nose stuff going on there. Follow your nose. It always knows. And then her knuckles are way too big. She's been punching rocks or something. They're not very feminine. I like strong women, but I don't like busted up fists women. Oh, that's too bulky still. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go to my local Cuban restaurant. Give me some some arroz amarillo and some plátano maduro. Okay. 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 Oh, you have toe thumbs like Uncle E. Yeah, I'm a vet, man. I'm a vet. I got toe thumbs? You think so? Are they really toe thumbs? Oh, it's because of my nails. That's what it is, my fingernails. I can't help that. That's a problem. I've been munching on my digits for a long time. Yeah, I served in the army, man. I was a 75 Delta record specialist. I got out because I couldn't re-up under new MOS. So I ended up getting out, but I wanted to go into infantry. I started to get attached to units that were supporting units that were pretty high speed, and I started to reevaluate my own choices as far as that was concerned. I said, oh man, I didn't even go to college as much as I wanted to, and I was like, man, I should have just gone 11 bang bang, but never, never, never materialized. It was right around the time that Clinton was president, and I had to make a decision about, do I just want to stay in for 20 years doing this nonsense? And the reason why it sucked was because when you're in the military and you have an office job, it's just like having a regular office job, except your boss can come in anytime he wants to and do an inspection on your living quarters, and then you get in trouble for that too. So it's like there's just no privacy. And I was like, no, if I'm going to go through all that, I might as well be part of something more significant than just record keeping. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Oops. You guys are not even seeing what I'm doing. Yeah, so I was in there for 2 years, 2 years, 10 months, 13 days. I think it was 4 hours and I forget how many seconds. I used to have it all down. It was a rough end to it. I had just, I was about to get divorced. It was a really rough time. It's a big difference between a strong woman and a masculine woman. Many people pretend making a woman manly makes her stronger, which is weird, machista look at women. Yeah, but I was talking about that earlier. There's some women that I'm like, ooh, I just like that. I think she looks hot. But I'm a weird guy like that, though. We were talking about. I think it's a subtle authority thing. Although I don't like it. I don't like. Ooh, I've seen videos where the women are like, you don't even know that they were women at first. And listen, whatever anybody wants to be, I'm not trying to get in the way of that. But, don't fool me, please. I don't want to be fooled. That's not nice. That's not nice. Right, the restaurant. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The arroz amarillo. Yeah, I want to go. I'm so sketch. You might laugh at this. I'm a little soy. I'm a little soy. I practice a veganish lifestyle of food choices because of my heart stuff. But I miss it. I tried cheese again the other day. I was like, oh, so good. But then I had a regular sandwich at Subway also recently, and I almost threw up. I can't eat this stuff anymore. Just that. Just that alone. Well, yeah, I had some issues. I was in the hospital for a little while, and doctor said that he was surprised I made it through. I was like, "What are you guys talking about? It wasn't that bad." They're like, "No, it was pretty bad. Your heart almost popped like a balloon." Like, what? What are you talking about? That's so crazy. That's so crazy. No, say it ain't so. So you think my one woman is too machista? So it's more about attitude and die. You maybe get teased a little bit. No, that's fine. I know. It doesn't matter. I don't care. That's the next part of that, man. Is I'll tell you, sketch. One of the things I was debating about some of this stuff because I'm like, I'm gonna have my own opinions about things, and I'm fine with that. I love however, I love being part of a community that's willing to challenge me, and that's what I like. I like that part. I don't mind the challenge. I just, you know, check my motivations. Am I right? And I don't want to. That's where I don't want to fall into any traps like that. I was listening to some of us talk the other night about echo chambers, and I was thinking, I hope people don't just let this become yet another echo chamber to fall into a trap of, because that's another potential problem is that people just want to hear their own commentary. So, like I said, I enjoy the secondary voices, frankly. Let's see here. I think she looks feminine but strong. She doesn't look masculine like her. Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, I think I was concerned. I think the knuckles will make her look too masculine. Isn't that weird? Just the knuckles, but I want her to look beautiful, but also she's on Amazon. Amazon.com. Oh, snap. Here we go. I'm just checking to make sure the crying game type of fool. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Hector. Oh my gosh. They call me Hot Rod because I'll challenge any idea I disagree with, but I will change my mind if the debate presents good points against my initial thoughts. That's awesome, man. That's, I think most of us that are reasonable would do that. Although there was a time I was pretty hardcore about things, and I wouldn't listen to people. But I really needed to change that because that's not really who I want to be. And I've over the years I've made some newer choices that kind of reflect. Some might even say, I don't know. I wouldn't say liberal, but I've changed a lot, man. I've made some. I had to because I've gone through some stuff in my own life that have challenged some of those worldviews that I've held in the past. In some ways they've gotten better. In other ways, I'm still working through stuff. But this on this, I'm certain that I'm for maximum freedom, and I want to help facilitate that as much as possible with everyone. Let's see here. Jose, there are tons of places like that in the LES. That's what I've heard. LES. Uh-oh. 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 What's LES, by the way? You know what I'm enjoying lately, guys? I don't know if you guys watch this, but I am super stoked about it. I've been watching on Netflix the Lucha Underground. I love that show. Love it. Does it get better? Hope so. Anybody like lucha? And by lucha, I mean like Mexican wrestling. Lower East Side. Lower East Side. What's the reference there, Jose? What's the reference, Jose? Fair East Side. Is that what it was? What's the movie reference? What's the movie reference? Come on, Jose. Come on. Come on. You got it, brother. Come on. Better than WWE, that's for sure. Do you like it too? That's cool. Mazorca. Aloha. What's that? Mazorca. I'm a libertarian. The left and the right both hate me, but neither can debate me. I'm against victimless crimes and against endless war. I'm for free speech, right to self-defense, and right to own property. I remember I heard you say that. Yeah, it gets better, says Jose. Lean on me. That's it. That's it, Jose, my man. Pots and pans going way back to the haystacks where we used to grow froze. Absolutely, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Lean on me. When you're not strong. I'm libertarian too, by the way, man. I'm not 100%. I'm not sure. I'm certainly signed up as a libertarian, but I like when people do what they got to do. Teaching my daughter now, you're not a victim. Don't let nobody tell you that. Okay. I think I did that wrong, but this was supposed to come down like this. So I'm gonna have to, uh-oh. Wah, wah. Wah, wah. Wah. Wah, wah. Hold on, I gotta get my handy dandy Presto pen. This is my favorite tool for correcting things like this. So I take this and, so Jose, what do you think about this so far, man? As an alternative to all this stuff on Instagram. what was I using for a pen? Oh, that was this one. Okay. And this dries rather or fairly quickly, which I'm always happy about. And I'll throw some shade down here. Throw some shade. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. The images are 100% anything we're fiercely independent minded, but hold certain values as natural law and human rights. I agree with that. I agree with that. Birdie, he made a mistake. He is human. I told y'all that. I told y'all. I don't know why y'all act like I'm not. I never said I wasn't. See? See, Birdie? But now you feel justified. Now you feel like, yes, yes, I too can be like Jerkmonger. Yes, you can. Well, not really. You can't be just like me. But, you know, we all do stuff. As long as it doesn't boot you off time restraints. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I'm working on a commission, so why not talk and work on the commission? I bet you sing around the house all day. I do. I do actually. You know, I got that from my mom when I was a kid. If I said something and it reminded her of a song, she would start. She would just start. She grew up in the Bronx. Well, she was born in Puerto Rico. She was born there and then moved in. She lived in Gurabo, and then she moved to New York when she was 6. My father is from Aguadilla, and he moves to Puerto Rico when he's 18, and around that time. So she has spent a lot of time in New York by that time. And anyway, so she grew up on Motown and everything else, and so she loves all that stuff. So whenever if I ever said something that reminded her of a tune that she happened to think of, oh, forget it, that's all we would hear. And so she would stop everything to sing. And now I do it. My kids think I'm just stupid. What are you going to do? That's life. At least I sing okay. Not great. Oh, snap. Oh, what's the heck? Matter of fact, I bet you sing when you go out and in the car too. I do. I don't listen to a lot of music though anymore. I, I, I got really into talk, and even that I don't listen. I'll tell you what I enjoy the most. I mentioned it earlier. I love listening to. There's a channel on YouTube called Horror Babble. Horror Babble, not horror babble. Horror Babble, and they do readings of mostly H.P. Lovecraft, whom I love. H.P. Lovecraft was so good, man, and I love listening to ghost stories and things of that nature. Am I ready for New York? I'm trying to, man. Andy and I have been working on it, and I'm gonna have some of that artwork to give you, man. I have stuff that you bought from me from a while ago, and we keep missing that. Or just send me your address. I think I talked about that before with you too, so I may have forgotten myself. But resend me your address, man, so I can send it to you. I hate doing that because if for some reason we miss each other again in New York Comic Con, I don't want to. Hey, man, what is this nonsense that now that this convention won the right to be the only Comic Con, are they going to change the name to New York Comic Con? What the hell is going on with that nonsense? What the hell? Excuse my French. Where's Nestor? Sorry about my French. He's probably like, that's not French. I know. I know. Some might say I was a little racist. I don't know. Would it be racist? I don't know. I don't think it's racist. You seem great. What you talking about? Stop. You're saying complejo. You're yourself. You got a good voice. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that sketch. So yeah, man. So New York Comic Con now cannot call itself Comic Con or Comic Convention. I get. Can it just call itself Comic Convention? I don't know, man. That's just weird. That's weird. That's like saying I can't say sky, or I can't say think, or I can't say. That's just weird. It's not a name. It's a designation. They'll have to use the full word. Mm. 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 All right, full disclosure, guys, especially for all my Puerto Rican people. So, as Puerto Rican as I may be, I didn't really embrace that more until I moved to Florida, and then actually mostly in the army. And so the only music that I listened to for a long time that was salsa music was I had some friends that listened all the time to Gran Combo, and so most of my favorite songs come from them, or and all the stuff that was in the '90s, and or Tito Nieves because he sang in English, and also who else? Who's the other one? Yeah, I love Gran Combo. All right, Gabe, it'll be cool, man. To maybe claim more of the catching on onto the com part. Just say NYKC, New York Comic Con. Oh, hey, Michael Pritchard, what's going on, man? That's a good idea, actually. Comic Con would be New York Comic Book Convention. Hey, Luis. No, I didn't listen to him either. I used to like. My father was always heavy into Juan Luis Guerra, which is not really salsa. Ruben Blades, and also who was this other guy? Oh, the young guy. Listen to me, Mark Anthony. Later on, I got into Hector Lavoe. That's kind of cool. I like Hector Lavoe. But every time I say Lavoe, I always think of jabón, and then I think I want to take a shower. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? I never thought I'd be doing Puerto Rican commentary here. I'm doing good, Mike. I'm doing real good, man. I'm growing. I'm getting better. My heart's getting better. Although I neglected to take my medications today. Yikes. Um, I'm doing okay. I want to lose some more weight, and I gained some recently. Not a whole lot, but enough that I'm not. I'm stable around two. Uh-oh. What the hell? Around 235, 236. I got to get down to 220, 200. That's where I want to go. I was too. You remember, Mike? I was a fatty. Well, I'm still a fatty. I'm just not as fat a fatty. I was almost two. Well, at one point I was almost 280. Go figure. How is this a confession? Everyone loves these these people in Puerto Rico. You talk like you're about to confess to robbing a bank. No, no, no. It's not a confession. The confession is that I was not really heavy into to music and or to salsa music until much later. I have to always kind of, because then I get the conversation. It's like I used to design for Harley Davidson, and just because you design for Harley Davidson doesn't mean I know everything about Harleys. But every time I mention that, inevitably a Harley enthusiast will start asking, "Oh, are you a knuckle this or you or that?" And I'm like, "Oh no, the ones with the wheels. I like the ones with the wheels. You know that one, the one that has the motor. I like that one. Do you know what that one is? They call it a motorcycle, I think. That's how lame I am. So I have to always preface that because then I get like, oh, you're Puerto Rican, you da da da, and I'm like, nah, no, I don't know who that is. Oh, then you're not really Puerto Rican. The biggest thing for me was to use the food. I don't eat a lot of Puerto Rican food. Like my mom raised me on pizza and hot dogs. So I'm like, oh, not really into. I'm into it now though. Salsa merengue bachata, that's our thing, bro. Ruben Blades, and when we get a call PR, a second home. That's what I'm talking about. Bachata, I can't get into yet, man. I don't know why. Although I don't know, maybe not. Because isn't bachata kind of like more regionally like Mexican? And then in that case, is it more Californian? But then I find myself kind of enjoying some of that though. As far as the food is concerned, though, I do a lot of. Now I can eat stuff that I wouldn't eat. Like now I would eat, which I wouldn't when I was younger. What's it called? The root. What's it called? What do you call that? The white root. Slow bachata? Oh yeah, I guess so. That's my wife. She was born there, but she says she's American. Yeah, well, you know. There's Dominican, you think. Rancheras. Ah, see. See, and I've just exposed myself. You're not really Latino. You just play one on TV. No, 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 it's okay. It's all good though. All right, let's see. I'm gonna switch to this tool again. I'm gonna carve out some of that there. I'm gonna bring this in a little more to really give her some of the thinness there. You know what I gotta do? Some of these lines in here, they're better, they would be better if they were just black. It's like all this right here. This is better. This is a better choice. See, this is when in doubt, black it out. When in doubt, black it out. Let me see here. Half Spanish, but all English until she gets angry. Yeah, well, that's true too about us. My wife is Puerto Rican and Italian. So you can only imagine the epic level of disputes that we have here sometimes. All love though, all love. What the heck? Piriki, pipi, pipi, piriki, pipi, pipi, moviendo las caderas, moviendo caderas a la derecha, a la derecha, a la izquierda. Does that go for people too? Heck, what are you talking about, Doc? So yeah, so don't talk to me about motorcycles. I have some basic knowledge. I rode a motorcycle for a while, but I had a Suzuki Boulevard. Loved that bike, man. And I thought I was a monster, bro. If you caught me on that bike, I would give you dirty looks all day long. It's just a thing. It's something about being a biker that requires that because it's just you on that road, and you kind of and the cars don't care about you, especially here in Florida, man. Here in Florida, they are ruthless, ruthless. You don't get me started. But yeah, so I but I loved that bike. I miss it. I miss riding. I really miss riding. A merengue flashback. Puerto Rican and Italian, so do you have a fire extinguisher on you? No, my wife has the fire extinguisher, except she doesn't use it to put out the fire. She uses it to beat me over the head. I'm just kidding. She's not here, so she doesn't hear the banter. But if she were here, she'd be like, why you say that? Like, no, mama, no, it's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, it would be like, what? And she would get mad at that. But I don't talk like that. She gets mad because I tell her she yells too much with the kids. And she's like, I don't yell at the kids. I don't yell. I don't yell. Like, yeah, listen, seriously, you got a problem. Go see a therapist. I live by Hialeah on Calle 10, yes, near Calle Ocho. No kidding. That's cool, man. I think I like this, what I've done to the hair so far. So let's go ahead and commit some energy in to these digits here, her finger. After I'm done with this one, I have to work on another commission. I'm going to have to focus on a little more so I can tighten it up. But so far I'm having a good time. Thanks to all of you guys for jumping on here with me. I really appreciate it. And you guys are having great days with your family. It's Sunday and what have you, but I appreciate the love, guys. I really, really do. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing here is not just talk about general stuff, but I also want to talk about, I'm going to do some news. some news. I want to discuss things that are important to all of us in the world. I want to also talk a little bit about, in particular, entertainment news, because, well, frankly, I mostly care about entertainment news. And I'm hoping that, and there'll be some of this. We'll be doing some art stuff and and hopefully get people excited to be part of the community. Like the new character Damage from DC. Okay, so this is where I have to get a little educated on some of what's going on because, like I said, I haven't really been paying attention. Talk to me about Damage. What is the story about Damage? What is what's your excitement over Damage, my brother? See, that messed me up there. I gotta, yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the pen for that. Although I could probably black this out. Time to get the pen out. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop it up there. And guys, don't feel free to ask me questions. I know I usually turn those off on Instagram, but that's because Instagram is Instagram. If you guys want to ask me specific questions, feel free. I will not turn you away here. Hector, you still here? I was talking. Oh, I just missed a bunch of things. All right, Birdie, be cool, man. The Hulk equivalent? Don't know much about that. He's only turns for an hour. I think Damage is DC's Hulk. He is DC's Hulk. Same for Sideways, the new DC Spider-Man. Is that what they're doing to just... Did you use all that paper I gave you, by the way? I gave a lot of it away. I used some of it for my computer, and then I gave a lot of it away because there's a lot of paper, brother. So I came in late, a little late, says Michael Pritchard. What's your take on Comicsgate? Well, I am actually in support of Comicsgate. And based on the philosophies of Comicsgate, which is a free market tool to collect, to build a business out of what I think. A lot of us, when we talk about the comic book industry, we kind of talk about it in these terms, like things are kind of falling apart. And I share that opinion. So it's an excellent or strong, in my opinion, solution to what I think has been ailing the industry for a minute. And I also think that the accusations of the people, based on and again, I've been listening to people. I've been listening to the rhetoric, not the rhetoric, the discussions. I've been paying attention to the the personalities that are involved, and I have to say that I'm I think that these people are crazy, to be perfectly frank. As far as their accusations, would you do a Boricuas live stream there at least 5 Boricuas, all very different? Yeah, I sure would. Yes, they made a Fantastic Four as well. They did? Fudgin' Puddin'. Image retracted. Could the comic book industry be falling because of the movies and TV shows? Like videos killed the radio star? That's a great question. That's a great question, man. I don't think so. I think I kind of see where you're coming from with that question, as far as your reasoning, perhaps. But I think what's really hurting the industry, and I don't want to be so crass and just say use this would be rhetoric, the SJW conversation, but I think there are people involved in these markets that seem to not care about the success of the businesses they work for, which is a little weird. I would think that if I had a business, oh, I do have a business. So if I have a business, I'm going to pick people to work with me that actually encourage the growth of said business, not discourage that growth by tearing it down. There could be something to be said about the impact that the movies have had on it. I think you have to look at a multitude of factors, including the way that we didn't hire me, and maybe, like maybe just video games, the advent of video games and how they've impacted our culture. That has taken a huge market share from what used to be almost exclusively owned by comics in that sector, as far as young people and how they consume that kind of product. So, it's an uphill battle, and so I think the argument goes that if they had spent more energy cultivating a suitable community, or not a community, but a suitable business model around it, then it would make more sense. There is another Boricua with a Project Detective Dead. He's like a detective that went through the Death Wish, Frank Castle opening scene. Ah, interesting. I'd like to hear about that, man. So, yeah, I don't know that I don't think it's movies. I really don't. I think, like everything's evolving. So there's always going to be an evolution in business when it comes to any kind of product. Okay, right? So I would think that most of us would agree with that. Right now, like the horse and buggy, was replaced by the automobile. And it's up to the industry to evolve and to see that as not as a challenge to, I mean, you could just argue and say, oh, we don't want those anymore, and be mad at the horse and at the automobile. But obviously we did not, right? We embraced the automobile, we accepted the automobile as part of our economy, and now it is what it is. It's here to stay. The challenge that I see is that not only is it already difficult, a hostile atmosphere to create these comic books and make them successful for even Marvel and DC, but on top of that, we have people who have co-opted these companies for political gain. And that's the part that I'm a little confused about. Like, comics is just comics. But maybe they see comics as an efficient way to tear down idealism, because it's just like we say that comics is a cheap form of entertainment. Like if I wanted to, I could create a comic and on the cheap. I don't need a production crew. I don't need microphones. I don't need anything. I just create that comic book, and then I can even pitch that comic later to a movie studio, right? I don't even have to do a small film or anything like that, and an indie film. But where I do see the problem is that if they saw that as the current new wave of that sort of thing, I think what happens is they've co-opted it like anything else. They want to take it over, and have harmed the industry with that sort of stuff. Comic books are storyboards for movies and concept designs for games. It allows you to get creative control at a low production cost. I agree. Well, like the automobile, they went forward. Some of the movies are making them go backward. Example, Apocalypse character in the X-Men movie. Por favor. Okay, all right, but that's not a problem of that. They didn't harm comics, man. I mean, let's face it. Marvel wasn't publishing comics. That was because of a Disney. I think that was Disney owning Marvel. That wasn't because that was I believe. I don't know that for a fact, but I believe that was a strategy to basically, drown out those properties. And maybe that's really the problem that we're talking about. These became properties. And I think that's the reason why these guys are doing this in that industry. It's a great way to get a job. Most of the people that care about anything that's going on in comics are on Twitter, and that's a great place for them to launch their voices, I suppose. But I think it's had an adverse effect on that industry, because now there's things for the casual comics fan or customer that are not buying some of this stuff because they're just doing weird things, just odd things that seem counterproductive to successful business models. So That's why when I came into contact with what is called Comicsgate, and I said, man, to be honest, they're not saying anything crazy. They're just talking about things that we talk about all the time. Like, what hurts this industry is the marriage between, I think, the crazy marriage between comics companies and Diamond. That's a big problem, I think. It's not a monopoly because it doesn't classify as one, but we all know that in actuality, that's exactly what it is. Like putting Disney plushies on Marvel covers. Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but if I'm just saying that oops, that, oh, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying that in general, they've, I don't think it's quite like that actually, if I understand what you're suggesting there. But I do think it's just, there's been a challenge to what's going on, and I think Comicsgate responds by what I had already been thinking about doing myself anyway, which is to publish on my own and to produce stuff. It's just that there's such an institution now in this industry that nobody thought they could be challenged. And I think what's happening now is the comic companies see that there's a challenge on the horizon coming from these independent creators. And so some of them have chosen to defend their industry by insulting people who are independent creators. But they're just mad now because the independent guys are becoming successful. Ethan Van Sciver launched a campaign on Indiegogo. He asked for initially $8,000 and has earned on that campaign over $500,000 to fund his Cyberfrog comic. And with all due respect to Ethan, Cyberfrog was just a little weird concept from the '90s, but that's how how weird our culture is today. That everyone's like, wow, I'm thirsty for the frog. I'm like, really, the frog? But it's because part of it's because of what he represents. I think it's cool. I think it's super cool, and I support it. The deeper problem is this is what Sketch is saying. The deeper problem is what the people in control believe. They follow the Frankfurt School of Cultural Marxism in its long march through the institutions of education, entertainment, and law they own to now. Yeah. But that's pretty much what I was trying to say. This is not a healthy way to run business, and it's designed. I think they're trying to use it as a tool to spread a message, which is just a weird way to. This is comics, man. Like, my mom doesn't care. She doesn't know who Jim Lee is. But she knows who Brad Pitt is. It's just the way that we've already elevated so many people to the status of, like, oh, you're a comics person. You must be really important. But that's just because we're in that industry ourselves. We're either fans or whatever. But there's no threat from anybody. But it's pissing off enough of us to want to change. So be it. So be it. I don't know if that answers your question, Hector. I think that's, I know that Mr. Pritchard was asking me about my thoughts on Comicsgate. I know, and then under that description, I do identify with it, and I also claim it. I support anyone who wants to start their own thing, anybody who wants to create their own product, anyone, because I want to start my own product myself. I want to create something fresh and something new. I've had these ideas for so long, and it's becoming more and more evident that I tried getting jobs in those companies and I didn't get them, and I'm not being sour about it. It's just the reality. So I'm not going to kill myself anymore to try to please them, because there's nothing to please. They have a different motivation now, it seems. Could I be wrong about that? Hell yeah, I guess so, but it doesn't seem like it. It just seems like I keep hearing the same chatter from that side, and now people who haven't even been involved in the movement are getting penalized because, like I heard online, the gentleman from Alterna Comics is getting his whole universe ruptured because people are angry about Stan. All he's doing is sharing what people do. So from what I understand, the gentleman's been as neutral as possible, which I can respect. I get it, man. It's like the other night I asked a question about a particular creator, not because I was, as someone suggested, trying to out him. Which I'm a little disappointed in that person for saying that, but that wasn't the intention at all. But only to say like, there are some guys that need that work, so I can't completely dump on it. But at the same time, I totally understand what's going on there. And so what do I feel about it? I'm on board. I am on board. I am the knight. I am Comicsgate. Whatever that means. Does that sound crazy? It's just Big Brother being jelly about the little guy with better ideas. Yeah, I think some of it is that. We are the base of entertainment in the modern age. Geekdom rules media and comics rule geekdom. Yeah. I don't know if it rules geekdom. I don't know if it does rule geekdom. But maybe I could see that argument. I would say video games does now, but maybe. But then sometimes comics have an influence on video games. I like that trick with the coins on the ruler. Oh, yeah. Okay, people quit alternate. What does it mean? I don't want to say nothing. What does it mean when a comment is italicized like that? I don't want to out somebody. But anyway, so with your ideas and such, could you go to Image or Boom or Alterna Comics? Is Comicsgate trying to be its own imprint? Here's what I think about that. I think some people want it to be that. I don't think it should. I think we should keep it independent. I don't want to go to Image though, because I think Image has some people in place there that are. I'm never going to be able to go some places as long as I align. Not even as long. Now that I've just said this out loud, and somebody will watch this video later, I will automatically be Comicsgate. That's why I was just kidding by saying I am Comicsgate. There is no Comicsgate. It's just an idea. But the Comicsgate concept, for what I'm seeing the discussion go on for, will automatically penalize people from participating. So no, I think Alterna might be interested, and I wouldn't mind helping Alterna out, but I'm not ready for that yet. I don't have a book to publish there yet. I think I like the way that Ethan's described the model. He's using this model now through the campaigns as the movie experience. This is the expensive version, but it's the how do you say, this is the expensive version, this is the movie experience, this is where you spend $40 on popcorn and drinks just so you can watch Avengers 4. Then Avengers 4 comes to the comic shop. The comic shop at that point becomes the Blu-ray, right? Because it's not free, and it could still be the better version of it. You just got to pay a little bit more, but you're not paying as much as you did for the movie version. And then finally, the ultimate version is the last step would be the comic shop. I'm sorry, that's the comic shop. The last step would be digital, which is the cable version, I guess. I like the way he said it like that. That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. Like, oh, okay, I like that model and plan for that. I think it's pretty cool. So. All right, so I mentioned to you guys earlier that the goal to this style is to incorporate just flat fields of color. It's not designed to be bigger than that. So here we go. I'm going to be adding red. Not a fan of the cable version, VHS version before cable version. I think the point there, Mike, is that that there's a tier system, is the way that Ethan has described it. And each tier has its place. There's a place for comic book stores. The question I have is, will comic stores, and this is not because of Comicsgate, man. I'm telling you, before I even knew what a Comicsgate was, we were talking about like, what is going to happen to these books are terrible. And I've been talking to retailers, and they're having a hard time selling these books. We keep seeing all these 1990s tricks of alternate covers to sell their books, number ones. Those were all signs of of the implosion back in the 90s when it first fell apart. And I don't want to see that happen either, man. But that's not a Comicsgate problem. That's a problem between the retailers and their reliance or necessary reliance on the big two. And so if these comic companies, you know, are selling that garbage and they can't sell it at the store, it's not anyone's problem but the company that produces it. I left comics a few years after the Image exodus and joined the army. I have been away since Last Jedi, come from the movie gate. Collider and Screen Junkies locked the gate in my face. There are three gates. Oh man. You know, you have a negative experience with some of those channels? I used to follow a lot of those channels, but I don't care anymore about that stuff. I can't watch that stuff. I love movie news, but I don't know what to trust anymore with that stuff. Hell, I can't even trust regular news these days. Let's see. But yeah, I like the idea. I mean, but here's the thing too. Here's another thing. So there's news out there, there's documentation for this and everything, guys. But there is information out there about a particular guy. I hate to mention him, although he probably wouldn't mind me saying it, but he doesn't know who I am, so I don't want to do that to him. But there was a creator who's part of Comicsgate who had a comic that was going to be published through Antarctic Press. And there was another creator from one of the big two, and I will name him. It was Mark Waid, and he went out and he bullied that publisher from producing that comic. Well, guess who didn't get that comic because of that bullying? The publisher relented and wouldn't publish the book because of fear of it was a hate book or what have you, which it wasn't. So what happened? Guess who suffers? The comic shop. Now there's no other book to sell in the place of that book, except for, of course, in his interest, the Marvel book that he supports or he works for. They muted me. I couldn't talk to friends in the chat over on many accounts. They changed the name, the Gatekeep. I could not be anywhere except with Uncle E. He showed me the Comics and Gamers Gates. Oh man, there you go. See? Comic book industry will never make that image boom. They need to stay consistent, says Hector, and not to sell gimmicks, but good stories and art. And that is the problem now. So now because they've moved into an agenda thing, they're not really concerned about stories. They just want to propel concepts. They're not trying to tell a good story about Spider-Man. They just want to create propaganda for these characters, which again, I can see why people might say that if you're not in favor of certain characters, I can see where they're pulling that out of the ether for, but I don't agree with it. I just like me, I was very vocal about some of the character choices they made. I'm still not a big fan of Miles Morales. I don't really care for him. I'm sure he's a fine character and all, but he's not Spider-Man to me. It's Peter Parker Spider-Man, and because I'm not a racist, I don't need him to be anything but what he is. Now, as a Puerto Rican creator, just not because of anything else, if I want to see something like that, I need to make something like that. You can make your own stuff. I've always believed that. So make your own stuff and let it stand on its own merits, and produce something that's worth my $3, $4, $5. That's another thing. Another thing that hurts the comic industry is they keep raising prices on these comics that are garbage. So it's like, I already can't buy stuff. I just buy for certain artists now. And even that, I've kind of, resorted to this, oh well, I'll check it out online if it looks cool. If it's cool enough, I'll buy it. I used to buy all the time. So my dollars are tighter, and they're actively trying to find ways to keep me from shopping with them. Who does that? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Super pan. Listen, I have a character I've been working on for a little while. I'm looking forward to bringing him to the forefront. He's a teacher in the inner city in the Bronx who happens to be Puerto Rican. And it's a very fun story. I also, here's another thing, Mr. Pritchard, another thing, I don't know if you're still listening, but another thing I appreciate about the movement, if you will, is they are calling for books to be apolitical, not political at all. I think that's perfect. I cannot tell you how many times I've read something that I'm like, gosh, I don't want to pay to be sold a concept of something that I don't agree with. Or I'd rather have a serious conversation about something that's if it's that important to you, then let's have lunch and let's talk. Let's meet for dinner. Let's do anything but put it into a comic and try to sneak it into my pull list. I think that's dirty. I think that's dirty. I think that's dirty. No, my character is called Ray Rumble, but it's because of the Rumble in the Bronx. I'll be sharing some of these guys with you as time permits, but as I get these things wrapped up, but I'm excited too. All right, so Wonder Woman, what do you guys think? What say you all? I like her. I like her. I think she's cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. Thank you, Sketch. I appreciate that. Am I representing this discussion well, Sketch? Thank you, Heck. Remember back in the 80s when there were ads in the comics, Kool-Aid ads, OxyClean, different toys. Now, didn't they have those ads in the comics, cut the cost of those comics? Thank you, brother. Mike, maybe, but here's the problem. You know why you don't see those advertisements anymore? Because no one outside of the comics, the 40-year-old comics guy is reading comics. There's no new customers. All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. There are no more new customers coming into this and willing to say. And then on top of that, when they do come in, they just get a bunch of garbage. I mean, look how some of these companies, Mike, have been talking about. Some of the people. Forget about the company. The company itself is just a machine. Some of the people that represent these companies, that from Marvel and such, they've gone on and say, hey, if you don't like what we're doing, don't buy it. Who says that? Who says don't buy it? I think that the price point's a big problem too. So now you've got a price point problem. Hey, another problem for me, Jose Sanchez says, the detail's awesome and the pose is cool. Well, thanks, man. Thank you very much. Another problem I have, Mike, is as far as that goes, because you raised a good point, is the comics, I don't know. I'm a big fan of that animation style that I was just showing you. This is, for me, like an illustration style. This is how I do things that are supposed to be, higher end. I call this my Treasury Edition style. If you guys read comics long enough, you might catch the connection. But to be honest though, I think there's too much stuff in comics. I think there's too much art in it. I prefer it in the 80s when it was more a vehicle for story, not a portfolio. But that has become what it is, and I think that's why it's hard to find comics that are accessible at a lower price point, because their process is not suitable to that. So yeah, I think the price point is a problem, but I also think that there's not a product to support that price point anyway, and I don't know. I really feel that way. I wish comics kind of went back to the way it was in the, when John Buscema was drawing. He's one of my favorites in that regard. And the art just looked cool and communicated the story. It was communicative. It made sense. It told the story, and we rocked and rolled, and on to next month. But today people are doing. I appreciate that it's been elevated, but I also think it's been harmful to the industry. The price point problem comes from the lack of conglomerate. You must each be your own company, retain your creative control, but approach printing and shipping as a powerful conglomerate. I agree with that too, Sketch. You mentioned that the other day on Umbrella Guy's cast, which, by the way, he's super, super nice, man. I love that guy. But I totally agree with that. And that's where so the alternative to all this was to get a job at Marvel and DC. Now today, Marvel and DC have made it difficult to get those jobs at Marvel and DC. So, more so at Marvel than DC. But the reality is it happens at both levels. And so then what are you going to do? Well, you can go digital. which I think that's a valid solution. Some people don't like it, but I like it. But if you don't like digital, then to Sketch's point, let's come in together as a group to produce stuff. The only problem with producing paper product though is you need someone to buy that paper product, and if the what happens if the comic stores don't survive? Well, that's okay. Then producing it and getting get to them that way is still viable as well. Through a campaign of sorts, which I think is still really good. That still falls in line. So that maybe you don't get the Blu-ray; it goes straight from the movies to streaming service. And that's maybe what we can call the digital product, is a streaming service version. I'm going to get rid of that. Let's see. Claremont Unit Uncanny X-Men Run. You want to talk about a strong socially relevant voice. Love the words and open interpretation the reader could have while reading that book. Okay, that's a great comment. So let's talk about that, Mike. When I was reading Claremont's Run, I didn't even know there was a commentary being told there. Did you? Did you read it like that? I'm not sure when you read that, if you read it as an adult or not. When I was a kid, when it came out when I was a kid, I didn't care. I didn't like God Love Man Kills because of the art, and also because I didn't get it. So I was interested in just reading something fun. I wanted to see action. I wanted to see Wolverine pop claws and tear up Sentinels. Fast forward to today, now people are using these as vehicles for social commentary, and then but in such a way that you get it, so it's not hidden in any stretch. It's not veiled. It's not. Hey, this is just for people who have ears to hear. Let them hear. Now, if you get the message and you don't agree with it, you're an idiot because you don't like it, or you're stupid. I mean, literally, you're stupid. You're not smart. You're uneducated. Okay, I guess. Once the initial sketch says, once the initial Indiegogos make the collectibles, you can approach people like Alterna for newsprint editions. I remember there were cheap comics and special comics with no barcode. And you know what, Sketch? I actually love that idea too. I heard you guys mentioning that as well. I really like the idea of newsprint. I know I've heard some people on the other chats discuss it as the negative, but I love that. I don't think it's a negative. I mean, maybe for your collectible version of it, but for me, I prefer the idea of newsprint. I like it accessible, man. I want kids to enjoy my stuff, man. When the time comes, I want to create something that anyone can pick up and read and have fun with it. But Mike, you mentioned, you were talking about that. I think that's one of the beautiful things. Claremont was too wordy sometimes, but it didn't matter because Marvel was smart at the time to put a Jim Lee next to him, or even Cockrum to an extent, and distract me with the art so that it didn't matter what the commentary was. But we've seemed to have moved away from that anyway because it's more about. Does anybody care about Squirrel Girl? I'm just asking. Why is she so important? And out of nowhere. And then they throw in this America Chavez thing, which I'm insulted by that, by the way. I'm insulted by America Chavez. The more I've learned about it, I'm like, it's like they didn't even try. And they make it, I don't know, man. There's so many. Diamond controls LCS. Nothing stops Alterna from selling to gas stations, pharmacies, and grocery stores. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. They hold a cartel on a dying market. I totally agree. I think that was the first step towards the end, was when they made that deal with Diamond. That hurt them. I remember when I couldn't buy them anymore well, we don't have those things here. We don't have newsstands in Florida anyway, but I miss that. I miss being able to get it anywhere. I'm insulted by Chavez, says Sketch Therapy. Mike says, I read that as a kid, but I saw it as a cool family unit. The joking between Wolverine and Nightcrawler, the reaction to Storm being the nudist and the rest of the team. Yeah, same here, man. I mean, let me put it this way. it was better written. Here's was the strength. Let's talk about some things that are not necessarily so controversial. Let's talk about what was so great about about Claremont. One of my favorite things about him, he's too wordy for me today, but what I liked about him then was that he would he it would you reading him was like a smart activity, and he was able to write good relationships. So I may not have understood the underlying, conversation of a particular. I mean, I got the fact that they were hated by humans. Oh, but I didn't. Can I give you guys a rant point? And I think most of you guys have heard me say this. I agree with that too, Sketch. I agree with that too. That good stories hit you at a different level as you age. But one of my things about X-Men always bothered me was I used to hate when Cyclops or Phoenix would complain about why do people hate us so much? I'm like, whatever. These people walking around with six packs on their six packs, and this one guy, by the time he's 16 years old, he's flying SR-71 Blackbird. Hey, shut up, Cyclops. Just shut up. So stupid. Oh, I got these cool $150 sunglasses, and nobody likes me. Shut up. Oh, I look so hot and my red hair is flowing and I'm always wearing a bikini. Shut up. But, this is my channel, by the way. Thank you, Sketch. But anyway, when I would read it though, I used to appreciate that stuff. And I got some of the nuanced stuff, but I also was able to turn it off if I needed to, just to enjoy the fight and the cool and the Sentinels. And I remember there was Nimrod and he was retarded. And I was just thought that was good stuff, man. It was fun, So yeah, if that's what we're calling for is a return to fun comics, then of course I'm on board. And if we're asking for us to shift into an idea about, hey, let's produce something that's going to sell and doesn't insult everyone who reads it, then even more so. And if I have to, because nobody cares. I'm not trying to get work for Marvel and DC anymore. And it's all right. It's all right. I've come to terms with that. I'm too old for this nonsense. Mike says, nah, that's what I'm saying. Wait, I love that you know what an SR-71 Blackbird is. Right on. That's what I'm saying, says Michael. The combination of great art, Byrne, Cockrum, Silvestri, especially Silvestri. Silvestri was my favorite of all those guys, and Byrne. And a cool, consistent writing style that was able to get a message across organically rather than blatantly forced. I totally agree with that. I totally. And so now they try to push the story, the commentary without good art or without good writing. And so, listen, man, I don't agree with everything Alan Moore says, but I love Alan Moore. I don't agree with everything Grant Morrison says, but I love Grant Morrison. And he's a gifted craftsman. You can't deny that. So when it's written well, I'm on board. When it's not written well, not so much. That's all right. That's all. That's really all it is. And all right, so this has got to dry. I'm gonna pull this to the side so I can just do some sketch. Some sketchy sketch. I can't find that stupid pencil. And the crazy thing is, I know it's here, and it's like it's taunting me. It's like I know you know I'm here. I know it, but I'm not going to show myself to you. It can't go anywhere. It was right here as I was working. I don't know what I did with it. It must be hiding under a bag or something. In my pouches. Well, you know what I should do? I'm going to bring back some of this paper that I was working on earlier. This other stuff. I might as well test out this other pencils that I use. So I'll test this guy out here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, still draws great. This is a special lead I bought for this. It's a erasable color pencil lead. Doesn't erase super well, but I think it's because I've been using it on paper and what I do on this kind of paper, because it's so smooth, this is your normal plate finish, or what's also called smooth Bristol. I like it because I can just relax into my lines. Nice looking Wonder Woman, says Michael. Sketches, how much does a commission like this cost? I do these, they go for around, depending on what you're asking for, they go for around anywhere from 75 to 150. But you can contact my art rep at the Lab Comics on Instagram or even anywhere else. He's on here too. You just DM me and I'll send you the information. He organizes all that for me. He's trying to keep me squared away. So I'm just taking a break here to practice again. I like using some of these other tools. See, I'm just drawing. You probably can't see what I'm drawing. Here, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Yeah, so this pencil draws nice on here. It glides on this paper, which I should have switched a long time ago, I guess. This is how I used to draw on laser writer paper. It felt so good. You know, I think I did that commission wrong too. I think it was supposed to be full figure, but I don't know. I have to check. Yeah, I think I was supposed to do more. Oh no. Oh well, I messed up, I think. Let me see. Also, what have you worked on? You draw like a pro, but I've been always, so I don't know what books you've been on. Great question, man. I started out working on Harley Quinn Power Girl. I've done independent things from the beginning, and then I did that for DC. That was my first break in the industry. After that, I did some stuff for Archie and Dynamite. Dynamite was the one I did the most sequential work for. But like I mentioned before, the problem was I couldn't afford to do comics. It was the companies weren't paying enough at the time, which I suspect they still don't. That's what I hear, and I just didn't have. It wasn't responsible to keep working for them. So, you know, nothing really, to be honest. For some of the smaller companies, especially Archie and Dynamite, they were very nice to me, very kind to me, and generous to me as far as getting me put on. But you know, back then I was willing to take any work because I wanted to get work. I wanted to quote unquote pay my dues. Um, but uh, but I didn't really, you know, now that I'm older, I'm getting too old for that nonsense. You know, I'd rather focus on either my own content or my own product. You know, so my own project, my own merchandise for things that I'm developing as well. So story-wise, I worked on Archie, Riverdale. I worked on the first issue of Riverdale. I worked on Forever and a Day. Was it Xena? Was it Xena? Army of Darkness Xena for Dynamite. Forever and a Day, issue 1 and 2, and then I had to quit after that. And yeah, that's it. That's it for now. Would you be open to getting interviewed on different shows? I run shows on World Class Bullshitters and the Umbrella Guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, man. That's what that goes back to this. You know, one of the things that my partner and I we talk about is we mention a lot of times some of these guys they have to work at Marvel DC because they have what we call a pedigree. They the thing that's appealing to to young artists when they're trying to sell commissions and make money is they feel like if I could just get put onto a Marvel book or a DC book, you know, I can then command better prices at the commission level. But what I love about this thing, aside from producing your own product, you don't need to work for Marvel and DC because once you've created your thing, it's your thing. And that's what's so appealing to me about that one. Two, not only is it your thing, but now you've also now cultivated your own audience, so that is your pedigree. So it's no longer contingent on whether you draw Spider-Man or not or Batman. Now I can be successful I can, if you like my work, then you're a fan because you like my work, not because I got a job doing Batman or whatever. So yeah, so for me, doing stuff, these interviews on other channels only just expands my influence, and I'm happy to do that. And also, hopefully, it'll bring value to you guys, so you have a quality. Hopefully, I'm a quality guest. Let's put it that way. Hopefully, I can be a quality guest and bring value to your stream. So, I'm all about that. And then vice versa. I hope you guys will be consider jumping on board with me when it comes time for that. All right, so I've just created a drawing. I'm testing out this pencil lead on this here, and so I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. It's working great. Another tool I've been enjoying is the Emoji pens by Kuretake, but not this one. This is the extra fine, which this is the medium tip, which gets torn up so fast, so it's kind of garbage. But this is not a good one, but this is the fine one. This is extra fine, this is fine. So I gotta find another fine one that has a point worth discussing. Where is it? Is this one working? Well, this is a good one. This is a good extra fine one. Let me try this. This is good times. Good times. Right on, Sketch, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. So this is what I'm talking about. It's based. Here's what I love about this movement. Another thing I love, Mike, if you're listening, and I hope maybe you are, maybe you're not, but one of the things I love about this movement is that because you're developing your own content, because you do that, now the people that like your work is not because, oh, I can, like I found that most people that seem to enjoy the hobby at the comic convention level is because they're gonna take that artwork and get it flipped on eBay or whatever, which is fine. I don't have a beef with that. But the companies don't hire you unless you're going to bring some kind of value to them, and they don't know if you bring value to it. The comic conventions won't give you a table unless they think you can bring value to their show. And what I'm saying is, like, you know what? I love that here it's about it's based on your merits, not about whether you have a particular view politically or whether you care about whether you've drawn a certain character or not. This is about, do people like my work? Do people enjoy what I'm doing? Are you a fan of me? Maybe you're a fan of me. Maybe you like my personality. Maybe you like, that's what we should be focusing on. So I love that about this whole avenue as well. Now we can create stuff and people can enjoy it, and if whatever. I have a story that I want to do. There's a very Conan oriented story I'm excited to bring to the table as well. I'm looking forward to getting feedback. That's another thing I love about this too. I get the immediate feedback just from having these chats. Hopefully, as I continue to create things, you guys will be able to comment on those type of things. So here I am playing around with this character here. Temporary layoff. That's right, Michael. So speaking of promoting, there's 11 people in this chat so far. If you guys are interested in what I just did with that Wonder Woman, I'm working on I have an Indiegogo campaign right now called Black and Red Series under Elliot Fernandez. Actually, it's under the Lab Comics right now, which is my art rep. But it's it's a convention art book of my black and red art that I've been doing lately, as treating it as a series versus just a bunch of fan art. And I'm excited about it. So if you guys are interested in owning it, it's very reasonable. I think the prices are at $10 or $15 for the book itself. You can jump on board for that. And we will be shipping in October, very soon. We're planning on ending it soon or when the time comes. We've already figured out the logistics with our printer and have that book produced and then out the door. The first people who will probably see it will be people at New York Comic Con, only because right after that we'll be shipping after New York Comic Con. Sketch says, I'm on number one. I'm a fan number one of you being yourself and standing up for yourself. We love that. And number two, You claim Boricua. That gives me a soft spot for you. That's it, man. I am Boricua. I am Boricua. Whether my cousins thought so or not. They always call me a gringo. Like, all right, man. That's messed up, but all right. Oh, man. One of my favorite experiences coming up, I used to be in a marching band in the Bronx. And it was one of the best things. Two best experiences of that time for me was I got to perform with my band, my marching band, for CES 70 back then at Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium, back when I was a kid. And the second thing was we got to march in the Puerto Rican Day Parade one year. And it was such a big deal for all of us. We're like, oh, this is awesome, yeah. But for me, it was just another parade. But afterward, the conversations around it, like, wow, that was kind of cool. I'll never forget that. I played, excuse my French, I played my ass off. A lot of marching those days. New Yorkers, baby. Hey, hey, hey. Kevin says, already looking forward to owning a copy of the Red and Black book. Right on, man. Right on. Right on. Did you already bought one, right, Kevin? Is that what I thought? I read earlier. Yeah, it's our whole goal. My business partner and our whole goal is to produce quality content at an affordable price. So I'm excited about that, giving you guys an opportunity to enjoy whatever it is you enjoy about my work and at a reasonable price. We're gonna have stickers at New York Comic Con now. The black and red, we have black and red stickers for the like a certain select ones. Not all of them are going to be black and red, just certain ones that we have as prints as well. Not prints during the revolution, but prints, art prints. And, and, and we also are going to have big and juicy stickers. So we're going to be turning some of the stuff. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it. I did so for my Boricuas, we already have a big and juicy coqui. I can't wait to share that with you guys. It's going to be awesome. He's already on my Instagram, but you guys may need to go there to see it. And, oh, actually, he's here. He's here. You guys want to see the little coqui? You want to see my homage, my love song to our power, our people? Hold on. Hold on, here we go. So, I don't know if you guys know well, we talked about coqui earlier. The first design that this is going to be a sticker we're going to have ready. This is the rooster concept. This has multiple significance for us. Obviously, it's a big deal for us in Puerto Rico, also here in Ybor City and Tampa. Let's see, this is the current sketchbook of mine. So this is how I was developing him. That's him so far. That's him so far. And I can't wait to do him playing dominoes. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be awesome. That's the coqui. And then there's our Chihuahua. I love it. But he's gangster, though. He's got the tattoo. It might even be tattoo. I think I might give him little pieces of hair. Might be like a little weird thing. Chichazo. Nice. So yeah, man, this is what we have so far. This is the coqui, that. Like I said, I have the other book that I'm doing, the other big and juicy stuff. This is part of the big and juicy line, but this is going to be for my people. And then we're also going to do something clever sooner than later, involving just stuff from New York for the rest of my family. The rest of the family. Okay, just messing around with my dealio. Is this it? No, that's not it. Is this it? It sure is. Sure is. It sure is. You'll see when it's all colored, it's going to look dope. They're basically intended to be, goes back to my fascination with tattoo design. They're intended to be, the way I've been describing it is it's a fusion of my love for comic art, tattoo design, Saturday morning cartoons, skater art and stickers, earthquake, my love for anime, graffiti. It's all those different things kind of played into one whole thing. So that's hopefully that's going to be one of the next books. If the more I do of it, 'cause that's what I enjoy doing. I love that look, that style. Not necessarily trying to do the, I'm happy to do the commission stuff, but I still love that stuff. I like that Jiminy Koki, like what a Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, yeah. That's some of our conversations, something like that. I like him because he looks like a viejito in the street, hanging out in the corner, playing some dominoes. Like I had a tío Hector, and he kind of reminds me of that guy, tío Hector, the old school, my mom's uncle. So see, okay, here's another guy I had drawn before, but I'd used the other pencil. So far, I love the way these pens have a nice tight solution here. Well, guys, I've been on for a while. What does it say here? Did you know Uncle E wants a RoboCookie? What? You need one with a guayabera. That one has a guayabera. You didn't see it? See, okay. Now I gotta show it to you. Look, it had a guayabera. Maybe I didn't do it right. See? Then you got me second guessing myself. Hold on. The Coqui is wearing a guayabera. I see it. Come on, man. Is it that bad? Just tell me. I'll redo it. I'll do a different one instead. Or the rooster can get a guayabera too. That'd be cool. Is it like a Trent? Wow. That's all good. It's good. All right, Dan. So no joke, Uncle E wants a RoboCookie. No doubt he said it many, many times. A RoboCookie, well, you can figure that out. What's the difference between Indiegogo and Kickstarter? Any real differences or just another platform? It seems like it's just another platform. Do you know anything about a Sketch? I think I've heard some commentary about some people not getting rejected on Kickstarter, and for various reasons. For some of, I think the reasons that I described earlier. But he says big difference, says Sketch. Big difference. So no joke. I'm gonna write this down. Hold on a second. The RoboCookie. You know what we're gonna do then? We'll work on that together. Sketch, you and me. We'll come up with a solution for RoboCookie. RoboCookie. I'm sure Sketches is pulling together some language to describe the differences. I think there's also differences in the. It's got to be big if there's that many eyes in it. Kickstarter will deplatform you or lessen your viewability over politics. Ooh, yeah, like that's what I've been hearing. I've heard that that's a legitimate problem. Where is that information? How can we? This is where someone like Sketch is super helpful to me in this situation, especially. Where can we find some of the discussion? That's interesting. I've heard it in the chat, but I haven't. I like to see some of the literature that goes with that. So, yeah. I do gotta take off some here. They check up on the creator before they decide to let you campaign your product. The hiring management and the staff of Kickstarter is openly political and very alt-left. Oof. Oh, my wife is here, guys. I think I got a boogie. She's gonna want to come in here with jibber jabber, and I gotta be ready to respond, or else I'll get in trouble. Guys, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you all for coming out. We were for 3 hours. I love you guys. Thanks for chilling with me and helping me do that commission. Seriously, guys, I'm looking forward to chilling more with you guys. Let's see, were you ever able to do that drink and draw in Tampa? We are actually working on that actually more specifically, so keep your ears open for that. Um, you want to risk it? Go for it. I would not with my projects. All right, fellas, be cool. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.